Coming up tonight, it's the final day of the ECS Season 5 Finals. Tonight, one glorious team will lift the trophy and be crowned champions of ECS Season 5 as Team Liquid and Astralis battle it out. With $250,000 on the line, as well as an amazing crowd of fans ready to cheer them on, it's sure to be an incredible grand final. Also along for the ride are some of the best minds in CSGO. So without further ado, over to you, Machine.
Thank you so much, Wembley. Let me hear you. Oh my goodness. You guys have been fantastic all week long, all weekend long, and now it's Championship Sunday, and it is time to be crowning a champion. I'm your host, Machine, and I have two fantastic, in fact, the evil geniuses. They used to play Counter-Strike back when they weren't old men, and now we have them here to talk about some people that are still
play Counter-Strike, even though we're old men. So
yes, old men. In fact, old
something's never
OGC.
changed.
Yeah.
Something's never changed, Alex.
What does it stand for? Old
Guys Club.
Guys Club. Incredible.
We're selling jerseys online, by the way, donating to Gamers
I gave you a plug.
Charity. You know,
All
there it
all
is.
for charity.
Oh, it's for charity. I love it.
It is for charity.
All right, absolutely. Yes, they are still fragging and body bagging, but these guys are the pros stepping onto the stage. Next, we have Astralis, this unpenetrable force that just cannot be reckoned with. No one can deal with them, and yet Liquid step up to the plate. Certainly some doubt surrounding them we've seen on social media, Tommy. I mean, you've caught a couple of comments from Naf and the guys. They're definitely fearing what they're about to go up against.
Safe to say, Naf wasn't oozing confidence in his interview for HLTV. I think the wording that he used was along the lines of, for us to beat Astralis, we have to win every clutch, every pistol, and every close round. That's not what you want to hear from someone about to start a grand final.
I guess that's analysis right there. I mean, Jordan, that's probably some words that would have come out of your mouth.
You know, if you just win the round that the first one,
yeah,
and then you win the second one,
okay,
you clutch the third one,
right,
and then you seal the fourth one, things kind of, you know, just pick up
Jordan,
from there every
I think
time.
the most important thing is winning 16 rounds before overtime.
If you get to 16 rounds, it does help, Tommy.
Yeah, 16's the magic number.
Before overtime.
A couple of reminders before we do get into the nitty and the gritty. Be sure to go ahead and join us on social media, not only with the hashtag ECS5, but also it's the grand final. I'm sure FACEIT are going to be getting a little over-generous and overzealous with the drops. So if you haven't done it already, gaming.youtube.com/FACEIT, and you can go ahead and get yourself all of those goodies. You connect your FACEIT account and you get loot. People are going to be getting millions. You click that orange button and you're going to be hooked up with potentially Dragon Lore, cheeky Alienware PC. In fact, some guy won an Alienware laptop earlier on today. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. And if you go to csgoleague.com/giveaway, you can get yourself some Steel Series gear, you can get yourself all of that good stuff they're giving away.
Maybe a chair.
2 Dragon Lores they're giving away as well. That's csgoleague.com/giveaway. All right, with all of that said, let's bring up that bracket and let's get into the Counter-Strike. We have got, of course, your grand final set. We've had the first semi-final where we witnessed NRG struggle and fall versus Team Liquid. And I mean, what lessons did we learn from that, Jordan? It did give us some confidence in Liquid's chances in this grand final.
Yeah, we noticed it was good signs for them to know how to switch up the pace on those reset rounds when they needed to adapt. The first map, we saw them struggling a little bit on the anti-eco rounds, but then they tidied it up right away on the next map, Nuke. So I don't know if it's a map-related thing, but I'm hoping Liquid just takes that confidence and the decisiveness on those anti-eco rounds, because if they don't, any advantage they have versus Astralis is going to get taken away right away from them if they hesitate.
It's terrifying. It really is. It's a terrifying concept, as is standing in the middle of a crowd of Larry Brits who like Counter-Strike, and that's what Boast is attempting to do. So we'll head over to Jake and see what's going down there before we break it down.
Very hairy indeed. I'm here with two finalist fans here. We got an Astralis fan and a Liquid fan. What are your names?
Jesper.
Jesper.
Caroline.
Caroline, okay, so quick question. Simmer down, friend. Simmer down, simmer down. Man, bro. This guy's been going at it all weekend. Okay, so my first question, who's your favorite player in Astralis?
I think it's Glaive, actually.
Oh, Glaive, yeah?
Yeah. I love his way of strategy and he's
just his whole leadership. You can respect it.
Yeah, exactly. His leadership, and it's just the way they play now compared to how they played before.
Yeah, because they're playing quite late right now, aren't they? And who's your favorite player from Liquid?
I'm going to have to go with Tacos. I think he's been a great addition since he joined. And yeah, I think he's been doing very, very well for us. But otherwise, I've got to say Twist as well. It's probably more of my favorites.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so one more scenario. It's 15-14. It's gone. It's 15-14 to Astralis in the finals, okay? It's 15-14. I want you to picture this. And they've taken a pause. Liquid have taken a pause. What do you want to say to the Astralis players right now? You're their coach.
I would tell them for first, don't be humble. Just go out and fuck them up.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let's get it out. And what about you? What would you say to the Liquid players if in the timeout?
Say, guys, same. Don't be humble. Don't listen to any of the shit anybody's giving you right now. Just keep going at it.
Oh,
Win. We're here to win. Let's do this.
That's what we like to see. Thank you very much, you two. Now, on to commiserations, my man from FaZe. What's your name?
Tom.
What's your name?
Tom.
Tom here from FaZe. Like, if you could say anything to the FaZe boys, what would you say right now?
Just believe in yourself still. You fought really hard. You had a stand-in. You know, you played well. After that first half on train, I thought we'd go on and do it. But, you know, just keep real. You'll be okay.
That's absolutely lovely words. Ladies and gentlemen, you're Alex, my bro. Kobe to you, bro.
Did you catch Kobe? Okay, thanks very much, Jake. Yes, thank you indeed. It's good to see the fans out in full form, and they're certainly going to be cheering a lot. I do feel like, you know, we've got to the stage now throughout this grand final where everyone has decided on who they want to win the grand final. You know, you've got FaZe fans, G2. I've seen a lot of G2 jerseys. Everyone's chosen their favorite for the grand final. We're going to have some fan wars for sure, all in the name of good fun and good Counter-Strike. Now, just before we get into the specifics, we start talking vetoes, we start talking expectations, I do just want to kind of understand, you know, Liquid and their ceiling. Like, as in, what is the very peak for this roster? You said, Tommy, I believe it was you, if not, it was another analyst who said that he thinks that Liquid, this is they've got all the right recipe now. They've completed the recipe, they have the ingredients, it's just a question of putting it into practice.
I certainly think it's the most complete Liquid team we've seen to date. I mean, the one thing is they still don't really have a pure in-game leader, but it seems to be working quite well with Zeus sort of taking charge, even as a limited coach with the current rule set. They also don't really have an opper, but still they make it work with having these hybrids, just mixing it up on map-to-map basis, and it makes it easier to play sort of force buying style because you don't need to have someone that always requires 5K to be effective. So
Nitro's not bad on CT, right?
Yeah, I mean they can make it work with the hybrids. So this team, I think, certainly has been the strongest Liquid squad to date, and I still think there's a lot of room for growth. They still got some very young players who are only going to get better, presumably, in the next couple of years.
One can only hope. What is your stance, Jordan? I think everyone has their own opinion on the absence of a Dedi Orpa.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing people like Device, that's the problem, is he's so good versus other operas. If you're not on point and ready, there's a good chance he's gonna get that pick on you. So I think for a team like Liquid, they have a lot more to worry about, I think, than just an opera playing a team like Astralis. But the good sign is the fundamentals for Liquid looked good in most rounds. So I think they just need to keep focused on that. The fact that they don't have an opera isn't the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. A couple maps you need it, but you know, people really glorify the role of an opera. Sure, when you have someone like Guardian, sure, when you have Kenny S, these operas can make play and slither through the rounds, but there's a lot of ways to win rounds in Counter-Strike. So I'm excited to keep seeing Liquid's creativity.
Yeah, and innovation as well. I think that's going to be so crucial. I really sincerely hope that they've done their homework, because this is a conversation to be had here, right? Astralis, 4 consecutive grand finals.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are terrifying. It's clear that these are the ones to be, you know, watching the demos, doing your research and doing your preparation. Surely at some point, Tommy, there will be someone that finds an answer, solves this puzzle, or is it not as simple as that? Everyone's looking at them right now.
I mean, I don't think this is a Golden State type situation where the deck is just so stacked in your favor that there's no way to beat them. I think it's just a question of figuring out how to play against them and sort of also giving other teams enough time to make their map pools work. We talked about earlier how strong Astralis' map pool is ever since Cobblestone was removed for Dust 2, and you know, like everything just sort of fell in place for them, which is kind of funny because the only reason they ended up having this roster is because Kirby left out of the blue. Yeah. They had no idea that was happening, and they kind of just scrambled to get someone who was still available. That turned to be Magisk, who's not only playing fantastically, but he fits the team super well, better than anybody expected. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you don't need to plan for everything. Things just kind of fall into place.
Yeah, and it's not like they haven't been putting in the effort as well, Jordan. This whole initiative, they've got sports psychologists. They treat it like a day job. They are changing the team environment than what we're used to. You know, back in your day, and that isn't that long ago, it was more team house orientated. It was very much just kind of, we're just playing a video game and we're good at it. Yeah,
I think very much so. It's common to see the kind of novelty fade for the pro teams. And whether you're the #1 team or the number 15 team, a lot of times you're traveling, you're playing tournaments, and you're like, hey, I've just been playing Counter-Strike my whole life. I kind of fall into this rhythm, and there's a little bit of laziness, but it's also just like you feel like you know what you're doing, but then you don't realize there's that extra gear. So a team like Astralis are reminding everyone there is that extra gear, there is that extra step of preparation. Zonic and Glaive are coming up with a lot of creative things, and not only trying to dominate the current meta, but innovate new ways of playing. So it's exciting to see, just like when SK started dominating, you know, a couple years back, bringing that passion back, it really lights a fire under everyone's butt.
Absolutely, and this is something It is a lot of fun to talk about the innovation, the fact that this game is how old, and we're still seeing people innovate and change the way the game is played. That's why this stadium is full of fans, and that's why you are sitting at home watching. There is so much to enjoy, and I do think it's about time for us to start the proceedings to get this grand final underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. North America versus the EU. Which side of the world has the heat? Which side of the world is more fraggadocious? Who wants the power? Fans, this is bigger than a video game competition. This is bigger than esports. This is about world domination. Team Liquid versus Astralis. Ladies and gentlemen, the ECS Grand Finals. It's about to go down.
Will Team Liquid, with the proven firepower of Twists and Elite, manage to take their first ECS crown? Or will Astralis return to claim their second title? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your ECS Season 5 Grand Finalists, Astralis and Team Liquid.
The stage is set, your grand finalists already getting themselves warmed up, and I know Wembley is ready. I didn't even have to ask that question. Instead, though, I have to ask you some more, because we start with the Danes, and as we do take a look at some of their highlights, these individuals fire so hard. It's not necessarily just the strategy, it's not necessarily the preparation, there is also the element of these guys have kind of grown to be some of the strongest players in the world.
As Tommy said, Magis has really started and created a new element of kind of firepower for them. You know, KGB wasn't weak in the aim department. It just almost seems like a mindset thing maybe with Magis. And obviously, you know, people talk like Zipnix is only the support guy, but he wins so many clutches for them. Here's Magis doing what he does best. Device, always able to use any weapon. So these guys not only have the protocols down to a T, but they also have the firepower to just win the duels even when things go wrong. So it's pretty terrifying to play against them. But they do have some gaps, and I hope Liquid will see that. It's
finding those gaps, and it's also what you talked about earlier, Jordan, you know, about not being hesitant. If you hesitate versus Astralis, I imagine that doesn't go well for them, Tommy. If you're not willing.
No, exactly. And like part of it is you have to be very confident in your game plan. You have to really be prepared to take down a team like that. And you know, like Jordan said, there's obviously flaws in every team's game. You can't be perfect at an imperfect game. But those flaws are smaller for Astralis than for any other team currently. There's not a lot of margin for error, and you know, it just puts so much pressure on Liquid to just make the most out of every single opportunity that they get in the game.
And you can't decelerate. What I find so terrifying is players like, you know, you're cycling through them, Zipnix, Glaive, Dupree, all of them have managed to find a way to not falter at a deficit. You know, not typically, if you're in a game, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jordan, you're up 11-4 on the half, you win the pistol, there is a kind of like a, you know, the vibe changes, it's much more kind of
comfort. You have that pillowing.
Comfort, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
in Astralis, you can't have that. You can't be comfortable.
You can't be comfortable at any point, but what I do want people to start noticing, and I think it's going to happen in the next couple of events, is, yeah, they have this like kind of impenetrable CT side, and their T side is super well-rounded and has a lot of great fundamentals. But if you notice on their T side, Cloud9 was able to kind of just show up and you know, play a little cocky and get some rounds. Like, they are able to be penetrated in a lot of innuendos.
Hey,
there you go, guys.
Unlike the Virgin Mary.
And there's a lot of different openings on their T side. So I think when people are playing against their CT side with these protocols, they've mastered the meta. People are a couple steps behind, and they're still playing in that system. I'm not saying you got to just scrim and do whatever you want every round, but you have to start abusing individual player tendencies from the Astralis guys, because there are some patterns there. So that's kind of what you got to do.
There is a predictable nature to it. The fact that we just watched 3 replays of Device on quad with an AWP, on Inferno, on CT side. You know, there is, you know what's coming. It's not necessarily
They just mix it up very well. That dynamic playstyle is hard to play against, but there's ways to prod.
Absolutely, prod and probe, and Liquid are the guys going up against them, and these are guys no short on the fragging department, that's for sure. And I mean, if we started listing off players you think specifically have to be on their A game, is it, you know, one of the Liquid fans mentioned the likes of Twists. Is this the boy that has to step up and show us what he's got?
Well, the thing is, Elise and Twists, I think, are the most consistent of the stars on Liquid. The one player who in the last 6 months has been really good, but then I think the last couple of tournaments has sort of been a little more inconsistent. Has been really good here, though, is Naf. And I think he's the player who really needs to be, if not the best player in the series, at least better than Astralis' best player. You know, they really need him and at least one of Twist and Elige to have a really good series throughout and just put up big numbers all across the board.
I also think part of this kind of energy, or part of the formula rather for them, is Zeus really getting these guys dialed in, bringing that energy from behind the team and kind of throttling them all forward. Because as you saw, whenever they have kind of that decisive game plan, none of them are scared to go forward, but they hesitate when the game plan gets halted by the opponent's nade usage or something like that. So these guys just need to keep pushing forward and maintain that pace, because Taco knows how to do it excellent, but we need Elige, we need Twist, we need Nitro in some cases, and even Naf. All 5 of these guys are kind of dynamic, lacking that opera and lacking that role. They need to all be able to play those roles, SK circa 2016. So I'm looking forward to them playing a little bit more kind of different roles for each person.
We'll see how that does play out. Now, I do want to start investigating the veto discussion. It's not necessarily about to pop up, but I mean, just in general, they've played a best of 3 already, Tommy. That must change things a little bit. You already know how the veto went last time. That gives us some room to maneuver and work this one out.
Well, I mean, we know that Astralis is going to pick Inferno. I think that's 100%. I think that's a fairly safe bet. I don't think Liquid's going to be vetoing Inferno because of Overpass. So I think the series effectively starts 1-0 for Astralis without like a really good terrorist side
not sugarcoating it
from Liquid. I mean, it's just tough for them, you know. Like, where do they go? Like, if I'm Ben, I probably think about Nuke maybe, just because Astralis doesn't.
I want to hear those words.
No, you don't want to see them on Dust 2. Device is fantastic on Dust 2.
But then you say Nuke because they beat NRG like that, but then.
No. That's not because of that. It's simply because Astralis doesn't play Nuke as much. So presumably they're going to be less consistent on it. That's solely the reason.
But Glaive was like a mastermind on Nuke, so I'm sure he started to come up with little fixes in the last week.
Here we go. Okay, so it's time to find some answers. Yes, Overpass, you're absolutely right, Tommy. They did this just an insta-ban, as always, from Liquid. And Astralis' ban will tell us a lot. Bye-bye Cash. Bearing in mind that was their ban last time they got into the second phase of this veto, so getting rid of it first. Liquid going to be going for the Mirage.
Ooh. Now, that's one of those things where the T side of Liquid needs to get a lot of CT rounds here. Astralis has a super fundamentally sound CT, and also they know how to fight.
It's the Dust 2 that they've been wanting. Wembley gets it.
Well, is this going to be a repeat, Tommy?
I think that's bad news for Liquid.
Scary stuff.
How come? Elaborate, Tommy.
Astralis have looked really good on Dust 2.
Didn't they beat them 16-1 or something?
Yeah, they've been really good on it. Their personnel fit that map really well. Mirage.
Wait, they could get Inferno here as well.
Yeah, I think they will. With Mirage, the thing is, Liquid normally does very well being super aggressive on the CT side. They like pushing up middle. They like stacking 2 people, playing deep in the A side with rifles. Oh, it looks like they've actually gone Nuke. Okay. That's surprising. So we definitely got a bit of a surprising outcome out of the veto here.
I think there's a good chance Glaive has a lot of information compounded in his mind from Nuke. So a couple small changes with the catwalk gone. He's altered his little ideas there, and I think they're going to be ready for sure.
Now that is a terrifying. All this does is just hearing us brainstorm throughout this. All this does is just enforce that discussion of their map pool is insane. We just sat there and like pretty much no matter which way it goes, this is a completely different veto. It's still it goes the way of Astralis. Does it still favor Astralis in your head?
Yeah, I mean, Liquid, it's just so hard. You heard Naf's interview. He's sitting here talking about all the contingencies for them to win. Yeah. They just need to show up and. Like right now, they're playing Mirage. If Astralis is able to take mid control, even first gun round, to me that's a terrible sign. I want Liquid from first gun round to be putting pressure all over the map and mixing things up. They definitely can trip a little bit if they put pressure on Astralis. So I'm looking for Liquid to just stay confident and get that cliche aggressiveness early on.
And starting this first map strong. This is the map that Astralis chose to ban against Liquid first time. This time it slips the net. It's Liquid's chance to hit the ground running, and it is time for us to get into this one. So Wembley, do ready yourselves, ready your breakfast and eat heart, because it is time for us to jump in to another game of Counter-Strike. Our grand finals, Liquid's opportunity to start versus what seems to be the unbeatable Astralis. I want all of the oohs and ahs, I want all of the roars. Every moment I want to hear from you as you tell that story as much as our casters do. DDK and James will be the voices that will fill your ears as you continue to contribute to this grand final.
Thank you very much, Alex. Indeed, we couldn't have had two better teams for the finals. Their form has been tried, tested, and it is proven, James. This is going to be phenomenal. And I mean, when I was looking at that veto, I'm so happy.
It's pretty good.
The maps look fantastic, so explosive, just kick things off.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this match. And Glaive was hyped, man.
Oh my God, I've never seen him like that.
I've seen him so pumped. What's going on? Why are they so pumped for this match? Either way, it's going to be really interesting to see what they can do on the server. And again, Liquid always with something to prove. They keep going further and further in tournaments, but can they take home that giant trophy? Taco loves that trophy. He wants another one.
It is, I think the hype of Glaive, I think that is an important point to go back to, because if we look at him coming into Astralis, he's been with them for quite some time and he's done a lot of things with the lineup, but it's not really until this point where we've seen what looks to be like a team that is just miles ahead of everybody else. But just like Jordan said on the desk, there are gaps in their gameplay. They're human, they will bleed. You just have to find out exactly where those weak spots are. And Team Liquid, I am certain that they've been putting in the work, especially with Zeus at the helm to guide the discussion. I think we should be able to see some good stuff here from Liquid as well.
Yeah, Taco, to go back to Taco, he was a really strong player for them in the previous match, and I mean, he's playing really, really well, so he will be crucial. And there's another man, Nafly, who was an absolute monster for Liquid in their matches of late, so these two boys will be very important. Such a strong team for Team Liquid. It's so easy to talk about Astralis. Obviously, They are just excellent all the time. We do have a Danish corner here for the Astralis fans at the front, and we had some topless guys earlier. We'll see if they pull them off later on. London, you ready for this match? Mirage, our first map of this best of three. I believe Astralis will be starting on the CT side. We'll just confirm that in a second. They are in the huddle for the time being. This means a lot to them. Honestly, I've never seen Glaive so animated.
Yes, it can only be the fact that he's in this point in his mind. He's like, we are the best. Like he knows it. They've done so much, and if they can just take this trophy and continue to just continue this form, it could be an incredibly amazing era for Astralis, and he knows that it's the beginning of that era. All they have to do here is take down Team Liquid, a task that for them must feel like they're close to doing it. They must feel like the better team, the better players. They're definitely more seasoned so far. Team Liquid have a lot to prove against what is at the moment the de facto best team in the world.
And Astralis, they've got a beast behind them in Zonic. You can see him really pumping the team.
I want to see
in that huddle.
I want to see Zeus versus Zonic, man. The battle of the coaches as well. That is fantastic.
All right, the countdown has begun. We are 10 seconds away from the pistol round. Astralis will be starting on CT. Team Liquid will be taking it to them to kick things off. And here we are into the match now. Nitro and twist of grenades. Let's see what Liquid have in mind.
Okay, there's a bit of running around here. I'm wondering if this is a false start.
It is
a false start.
It is a false start, yeah.
All right, guys. Psych! It's all good, it's all good.
Device has something to take care of on his PC.
Oh, man. Oh, no, the anticlimax. Oh, no. Whew, okay, it's fine.
I think he's good to go right now. Quick restart, and we should be good to go.
We get a slight breather there.
Love a false start. We met some of the fans earlier at the signing. I think Parla signed someone's forehead.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been signing a lot of body parts lately, it seems. Have you signed any body parts today, James? You kind of did.
Technically speaking, you can look at my Twitter and you can see that. There's a Danish corner at the front there. That's one of the best signs that I've seen at an event. That's really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. It's like a reflective, it almost looks like it's got LEDs in it, but it's just a reflective, glossy type sign. Very nice.
Yeah, indeed. So Seems it is about to kick off once again. Marvelous stuff. 14 seconds away. Crowd are ready for this. Astralis are ready, and I'm sure Liquid are ready as well. Here we go. I think it's the same buy from Team Liquid. I was very curious as to where they're all headed. No one's going towards A, so let's see what they have in mind here, Team Liquid. 2 players for Astralis heading towards A, and 3 into the B bomb site. Mid abandoned for the time being.
Yeah, slow one from Team Liquid. It's not rushing things at the beginning of the round, but it does look like they are likely either going for some kind of a B splits. We'll have to see how it actually turns out, because this setup from Astralis is an A retake. It's this is a very safe and standard setup from Astralis. Zipex tagged down to 2 HP. You hate to see it, we've all been there. Not a comfortable position to be in, but he gets the info for his team. I think he spotted the bomb as well. Oh, that's a great snap from Glaive. Really good start from him. The trade comes from Naf, though, as they'll continue the movement into that B bomb site. But all of Astralis are posted up here. They've manned all the battle stations, and this will be very hard to breach indeed.
Astralis, they've had 3 people in this bomb site the entire time, and dupreeh hasn't even played his card yet. It's being boosted on default device, finally picked off. Could get hairy now with Zipex on your 2 HP! That's a great flick from him! And now dupreeh finally pops out, pops off Twist, leaving Nitro alone. 1 versus 2, 45 seconds on the clock. dupreeh says no. First round goes to Astralis, and there is Zonic immediately pumping them up again.
Yeah, it was a great choice from Astralis. Super safe, nothing really too crazy about that. It's just an A retake setup where you want to be safe on the B bomb side, have more players there to begin with, give up that A site, because A is very easy to retake, B very hard to retake. So it's very simple opening from Astralis in that sense, not really trying to mind read Team Liquid or anything like that, just trying to play it safe, and they've been rewarded. However, we have 5 Deagles out on the field, and the Deagles can be quite scary, but only if Astralis give them shots to take. If Astralis play very passively and instead force Liquid to try to run into a bomb site, that's where the Deagles are very weak.
Liquid looking to put Astralis on the meat hooks in this round. Fair amount of time on the clock. Glaive not shy to get aggressive. With 3 kills in the pistol round for Team Liquid, that means that 3 players could have brought a scout in this round if they wanted to, so Astralis will probably start the round expecting one of those, but it is pure Desert Eagles.
Oh, hello. That's a rude awakening, isn't it? Glaive, very high, but silenced for the moment.
Just another day for Nav. Just another day for Nav.
Yeah, he is having a great time, isn't he, so far? Hopefully it really does continue. They highlighted him on the desk, how important he is in this particular series. Info for Zipex. Big flashbang. And that allows him to move forwards and get some additional angles there. Still playing it very shallow, very safe. He has a teammate there, dupreeh, to help him out. And Naf is creeping forwards, looking for the 1 Deag. Grabs himself the UMP as well.
20 seconds, it's time to push. They've got this close. Can't really ask for any more without any flashbangs. Now it's time to start fracking. There is a crossfire here, that's the bomb, which means full rotation, but I'm sure this round will be concluded before that rotation comes in. And with Nafly the only man standing, I think the conclusion has been reached. He'll try to hold on to the UMP. He can drop that to a teammate, continue with his Desert Eagle, and maybe they can make some more money before round number 4 comes in. Astralis with laser focus very early on in these grand finals. It's best of 3.
So, business as usual so far for Astralis. Pretty steady start for them. Nothing really gone too wrong just yet. Although Nafly surviving with the UMP means that he can keep it here and obviously drop his Deagle to a teammate. And we've got another Deagle purchased, a P250. So Team Liquid presenting opportunities for themselves here to keep the pressure on, to make sure that the economy of Astralis does not get too out of hand. And Device is going to spot a couple players. That's a good nade. Does a lot of damage, in fact, to Nitro. And it's all about discipline play. Oh, that's a great smoke.
Nitro is actually deep in B-App, so it was Twist who was top mid. Got lightly touched by it. Never know in these grenades. Zipex dropping a smoke. Smartly he jumps so we can see how deep the players are, if they're likely to be beyond the smoke already. holding his angles, and Liquid start to move away. 2 plays in connector for Astralis, looking lower mid and upper mid, presumably. Nobody will be shown just there. And you can see how Astralis are moving into a more traditional setup as Liquid are rotating away. Again, no more sound towards B, raises alarms, but also I think Zipex has taken a forward position, and he can see that no one is there anymore.
It's really cool to see, you know, Taco lurking so much on Liquid, and we see it again here. We'll have Astralis have dupreeh up middle, looking for information, and he'll be able to deal with a flank if it's necessary, but he may not have any action at all because the defense on the bomb side looks pretty good. Ooh, that said, a very timely movement out of the Palace position allows a quick frag onto the bomb side, and the bomb can actually be planted here. In comes dupreeh. He is needed after all on the flank, but there is nowhere safe to plant. Everything is covered here by Astralis, despite them being low on members. And finally, the late lurk from Taco. Alone in the 1v2 with the FAMAS and no Kevlar. Good effort from Team Liquid. They almost got a bomb plant. They got 3 kills. And that was a round where they spent very little.
Even though they failed in that round, Team Liquid, again, you see Taco's presence in mid. We've seen this from game to game. His presence itself is a threat to his opponents, and it keeps them in it stops their opponent from getting into better, stronger positions versus the rest of the team. So you saw a short highlight of that, but you also saw the complete awareness of Astralis smoking Taco off without even seeing him in the underpass position very early on to stop any potential execute. HE grenade, that one does some more damage, and this time it is Nitro taking that damage. Device is in a lot of trouble though. That Molotov is surely going to smoke him out. Indeed it will. More HEs, top mid, late HEs as well. They wouldn't have been expecting that, Team Liquid.
I like this here from Astralis. They're really trying to fight in mid. Again, Device taking the risk in underpass. Team Liquid smart enough to check that, and it is that door position really annoying where Device was. So really nice in the way in which Liquid were to handle that to make everything safe. Now, the 4v4 mid-round, that's beautiful. Zipex going out late into mid. They've double-checked what is going on here. Are they pushing this? Have they evacuated that position? Now the run is heard. Zipex has to hold the B-bomb site. Now Team Liquid know that they have a window that they can get a 2 or 3v1 situation onto Zipex. How much can he do by himself? There's one. The spray transfer is pretty damn good, and it's just going to be a Liege left in the 1v2.
Magis moving into the apartments, the high ground advantage will be there. Glaive doesn't need to take this fight to the death, but he will move into a stronger position past the window. Now Elige has no idea whereabouts in the market he is. Elige is wondering, where is the other player? You'll see him move to his left. There he finally spots him, but too late. Magis will finish things off, but what a monstrous play from Zipex. He spots the players pushing in after his teammate gets picked. He gets the smoke there. Ready for them to push the smoke. He bounces a flash off the back of the windows of the van. It's got a perfect angle to fly up. He re-flashes them, and he buys so much time. Not only that, but he gets 2 kills as well of the 3. That is a monstrous play from Zipex, and it cannot be understated just how much damage he did there.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? If that was a 2v2 instead of a 1v2, it is such a different road, isn't it? And Astralis, you know, they hold on to this flawless scoreboard at the moment, 4-0, and Liquid have the AKs out, but one of the limitations is a lack of utility, which will encourage them to go fairly quick, and even, you know, contact plays could be in the mix here, but with the limited grenades they have, looks like they will want to deploy those first before they go for the big push onto the A side. So very basic round here from Team Liquid. It's going to come down to hitting the shots.
4 of the 5 players pushing for Liquid, and with Naf's position suggests they're going to go for the short plant. He's going to make his way towards mid through B, but Zipex is waiting in Biax while all of this happens, so just keep an eye on the radar. The bomb starting to move in. That is a giant. How is that such a big gap? Was there a Molotov there perhaps? Either way, it works out for Magis. He gets the first pick on the twist. They're struggling to get the bomb down, Liquid. Astralis playing a masterful CT side so far. Now Zipex has moved through to the crawl space as the bomb hasn't gone down, and Nafly is forced to go and support Zipex with a perfect jump. Look at the arc of the jump, the peak of the jump. Makes it really hard to get anything done. Still the bomb isn't down, having to frag out Team Liquid, but Glaive is racking up the kills, and that leaves Taco alone on the A side.
He does have full health at least, but no utility and no one to play off of. We've seen some pretty ridiculous stuff from him of late. This is definitely a new addition to Taco. That's a good start. He has, I think, just enough time. Indeed, he'll safely plant that, but it's the Glaive coming from CT. That's looking for the free K. Taco lining it up, patient. There comes the reload, though. That means he has to reposition and give up that angle. And he has to go back into the peak, and that's the flames, that's the bullets. And Glaive will make it work. Another round for the Danes. They're doing a remarkable job so far.
When we watched Liquid on Inferno, we were marveling at the CT sides and the setups they had. I feel like they had a level over their opponent, but what we're seeing so far, Astralis appear to have a level over them. And that is going to prove very difficult to deal with, because I don't know if there is a level beyond Astralis at the moment. Again, the awareness, Apex just staying in the in-apps. They know what is possible with an execute. Astralis know everything at the moment. 0-5 for Team Liquid. They will be on the bye once again after this tactical timeout. The AK is coming out for 4 of the 5 players. Nitro hasn't bought just yet, but their plans are not working out for them. They may have to do something to take Astralis by surprise, but that is no easy task.
Yeah, and they don't have to be too down on themselves just yet. There's a lot of things that they haven't really been able to do because of economic limitations. It's still very early on. We haven't seen a spot where they've had full utility. We haven't seen a spot where they've had an AWP. There's a lot for them to sort of throw at Astralis still. And I think, in many of these rounds, the way that they've turned out is, I think Astralis is showing such a strong individual level, as well as these clean setups. There's not too much for Liquid to be disappointed about just yet. And we can see here more utility. We'll see them starting to pressure middle. They'll take their sweet time about it though, and it seems as though Astralis so far been happy to challenge him in, but maybe this round will be a bit different as far as their CT setup is concerned. They put a few bullets through the smoke just to make sure that no one's running or sitting through it, in it. And Liquid will rotate around T-spawn to A.
2 smokes on short will often suggest a fast play, a fast B split attempt. Some preemptive fire, but that was not the case. And now Team Liquid surround themselves around one of these 2 sites. But Astralis might be well prepared. They've got 2 people in a jungle area, or 3 if you include Glaive in that. And Majeskin CT. A quick glance from Glaive. Spots one player, falls back, doesn't overextend. Has to be prepared for a push, but Nafly and Sandwich going to shoot Majeskin in the face. And now CT could have been exposed, but device is rotated. This is the first shot, trying to keep fireboxes clear. That's a lovely flick onto Taco.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Liquid to hold on now. Still smoke's dissipating. That's a good frag from Naf. What else can he find with the help of Elige? One of the issues is that their health is very low, but it seems maybe that's not an issue at all. Now down to the 2v2. And there is a smoke and a flash there for Zipex as he starts to throw those forwards. Spray though from Naf as Zipex tries to line up the grenades. Naf snaps down 1. 9 HP left on him. Can he do this? We've seen great forms. Oh! There it is from Zipex though. Ready, comes off the bomb. And Naf simply does not have enough health to survive. A close round, but once more, Liquid denied.
I'm not seeing it in when we're watching the match, but it looks to me as though every time they throw smokes into A, the CT side are dropping a Molotov on this smoke here, because it bounces off the back wall before it lands into position, which means that you can stop it from landing where it's supposed to and have a gap there every single time. If I'm not wrong about that, then that is causing Liquid a lot of problems in those executes. Definitely something to pick up for those of you at home as well. A Molotov, holding on to your Molotovs on the CT side can be quite important. So Magisk is reconnecting to the server, and then we should be good to go. So it should not take too long. 6-0 for Astralis on Mirage. Is there any way into this half for Team Liquid?
Nitro with the sacred text.
The Dear Diary. The parchments. The tablets.
All the knowledge contained within perhaps what is in that book, that small little book there, could help them win this series and take a finals.
Hopefully he's got a page for Bardolph Molotovs on Mirage. Okay, Magisk is about to join the server again. A moment of reflection for Team Liquid. Where are the gaps in the Astralis defense? Where are the gaps? It's a question many teams are asking at the moment. And if there's time for an answer, definitely now. Grand Finals. Taco wants that trophy. You can probably see it from where he's sitting.
And one thing I would like to see is domination on middle from that Team Liquid T side. If they are able to do that, they can build it into a lot of things. So far, they've not really had great spots for utility to be able to do so. Astralis have been ready and happy to challenge there. It could be a situation where if Astralis do challenge mid-control from Liquid, Liquid are able to find, a 4v4 or even a 3v4 situation in the mid-rounds, and then there's all sorts that is possible for them, but time will tell. The start of this round, we're going to see 3 players moving into the Palace position. Liquid has something up their sleeve.
Quickly bursting in, trying shock and awe, trying to use the numbers against a normal Astralis setup, but it's not working out. Unanswered return frags from Astralis. They try to push in, but Nitro with the 180. Maybe there's a chance, but the bomb is down near default. Glaive just around the corner of Connector. He has been forced out, down to 9 HP, but there are no grenades left for Team Liquid, save for 1 flashbang. Nitro in a very strong position. Ooh, the smoke obscures the angle for Glaive. He's fortunate with that one. Now Zipex, can he see the bomb? I think it's on the other side of the structure, so he might not see exactly where the bomb is. And if he sees no one in A, does he wonder if they're still there? Everything slows down. Liquid maybe fearing a flank, but they're being patient. Glaive taken out, but he was low health, down to 3 on 3. Look at the health on Nitro and Elige. There are 2 Molotovs on this CT side, and there's an AWP on the device.
That was a really good punish from Liquid, just, playing the waiting game, forcing a situation where they have to just relax. But it's not going to work out in the end. It seems as though Liquid are unable to force the issue into a bomb plant. It's very difficult without the utility to keep you safe, or the numbers to keep you safe. Naf, though, he may find a way to circumvent some of these players. It seems like he's potentially found a blind spot. That said, Magisk is covering, but he will go down. Now, this is possible for Naf. We've seen amazing form from him so far this tournament. Has to win this fight against the orb, but he can't cross. Device, very consistent with that AWP. It was a good attempt from Naf, but it was not enough.
Zipex is 12 and 3 at the moment, and we've seen how important his frags have been, so can we just take a moment? I think this might be a demo to watch if you play positions such as Zipex or Device. 7-0, Team Liquid on the pistols, the buy between the buys, maximum loss bonus and counting.
This is really cool because Astralis are keeping track of their opponent's economy. They know that this is a sort of half buy round. There's going to be pistols, maybe some Kevlars, but not too many nades. It won't be a full buy. And so they take away middle straight away, and that gives them information. One of the things that you're afraid to do is push for information. They found a way to do it safely. That's a good connection. Device spots a lot of bodies. And that's going to allow Astralis to position efficiently. And Liquid know this. They don't want to just run in after being spotted at that stage of their push. So instead now they have to wait a bit. They have to reposition and work the rest of the map as they can. But I think Astralis have a pretty good read of the situation. Zipex is in a forward position in the apartments on B now as well.
After Device took that shot in B apps, Zipex was by the window, through the pop flash that you might see on a Cloud9 pistol round as well. And then once they realized no push was coming, they moved back into apps in this position, because Device had abandoned ship as soon as he took his shot, playing safe. But now they've got the confidence again. Astralis very aware at the moment. Spotting the bomb is Dupree. Doesn't need to overextend here. He can run distraction while Zipex comes in, but he's overextended. Not expecting Nitro, but Device is there to clean up. 3 versus 1. Wow. Twiz has got a rifle, and he's got 30 seconds. And now he's got 1 versus 1. So you see Glaive repositioning. If Device looks through Connector, then Glaive can surely trade. But now he's going back just in case he goes through the pool space. And there's 8-0. Damage done, but when you're winning every single round, it tends to matter a bit less.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed by how Liquid actually created what looks like a winnable situation. I think obviously if Device was then in the 1v1, I don't think he's going to lose that. The AWP advantage is pretty huge from the position that he was in. But at the same time, I have no idea how Liquid still did so much damage. So Liquid are I mean, don't be fooled. They're very strong. I think they just need the right spot, that couple rounds that they can string together. And we might see a very different story here. And looks like they're going to be taking the fight towards the A-bomb side. Perhaps liking some of the previous scenarios they've had there. Trying to replicate that. Spray for the smoke from Magisk. Support from Glaive. Close range for the UMP. Very effective indeed. Glaive going closer. Switches the gun. Not a timely moment for such a move. And now Device over the top, almost a double for him. Not quite able to connect the next one, but he's done enough damage.
4 versus 2. He can relax somewhat. Did hit Nitro, but didn't kill him with the shot which took out Nitro's teammate. So a 30 HP Nitro and a full health Naf versus 4 Astralis players. And again, in this situation, you might see a T-side slow things down and hide, which would force Astralis to move back towards the B bomb site, which means they would have less players to fight on A. Nitro, again, they've cut noise on the site. Zipex keeping an eye on the middle area, but from where Dupree is located, maybe he heard that player in T-spawn, but does he think he's running back? Doesn't seem so. They've still got the A site surrounded, the pop flash as they make their way over. Nafly checking, going beyond Sandwich, doesn't see anything just yet, but how on earth do they get a bomb down? No more grenades for this T side, and Astralis start to push. 9-0.
It's crazy because this is one of those matchups where you have this scoreline, 9-0, and you're thinking, I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of spots where Liquid could have created something, but it's just that Astralis are playing so well at the moment from every single aspect that you could possibly ask for, and that's what's creating this situation. It's not as though Liquid are playing like horrendously or something like that. It's not as though they're tripping over themselves. Astralis are just that good right now. And so it's going to be up to Zeus right now. We can see him talking to the troops to remind them of that. And to remind them that no matter how good Astralis look, it's not something that there's always going to be a hole at some point. You can't play I mean, maybe they can play a perfect game, but it's very, very rare to see someone have a game where there's not a hole to exploit. So we'll see whether or not Liquid can find that now as they, once again, try to break the defense of Astralis.
Even with max loss bonus, there's still shortcomings in the buy now. Nafly on the Galil. Dupree forced forward maybe because of the flames. And this time he will not be so successful. An early pick for Astralis, but Elijah's almost gone as well. They need to hold on to this man advantage and try to stretch out these Astralis players and then break the band. Everybody towards the A side for the T side once again. We have Magisk in the shadow position. I don't know if he has any sound cues from players in spawn. Will it be A with smokes again? 5 smokes for Team Liquid. And here they come streaming in. Magisk Boy can raise the alarm bell, creating some space for himself. He can focus on the right, not worry about his left because of the smoke that he put in the middle of the site. Something to think about for those of you at home, but what can he do with it?
With the AK in hand, looking for the headshots. Only gets 1 player down. I'm not sure if that's enough. We'll have to see. There's a gap to be exploited potentially for Glaive as he looks for players. Also, if he can hear the plant, he might be able to get some damage in through the box, but unfortunately he won't be able to find the time as we see Zipex now trying to get something going for the team, and it looks like, finally, Liquid are going to get themselves on the scoreboard here.
Oh, look at the money. So those frags are finally coming into handy at the right time when they win a round. We will see what Astralis choose to do. I mean, there's a fair chance that they actually buy it anyway, especially with the AWP alive. But only they can tell us.
I think one of the issues we're looking at here for Team Liquid's approach on this T side is the fact that we've seen very little committal to taking mid. Like, one of the reasons why mid control is so important is, I mean, sure, you know, you can build great splits to B and A, and you can deny information with it, and that's of course one of the strengths, but also if a team decides to challenge you there, you can get a chance to get a pick. And this is something that we saw Liquid get in this round. They get a pick, there it is, and then they're able to convert the 5v4 and in a set piece. Most of the time in the previous rounds, we see Liquid just go to the set piece without any picks, with limited map control, and that creates, I think, an easy to read situation for Astralis.
Right then, will we see some momentum for Team Liquid? Smokes on mid again, you've got a second smoke on short, which can often be a fast B split. And look at these set up for Astralis. They've got 4 people towards A. Last time Team Liquid put 2 smokes on short, they didn't push B. This time they're doing it, but all 5 in B apartments, not making a sound. But Astralis have already found the information. Magisk is in T spawn, and Glaive sees nothing in the middle area. The pre-fire from Zipex won't be enough on this occasion. That leaves Device on his own. He's blind, he's missed his first shot. Can he take any of these players out? They're streaming all over the place. Now he's going to go close quarters with a CZ, nothing doing for him. Glaive in the window, taken out. Surely it's save time for Astralis.
Yeah, the dream scenario there for Liquid. The sole AWPer missing both his shots, but Magisk, he's going to not let Liquid get off too lightly here. Getting a quick frag there in the apartments. Looking to hang out a little bit and see if he can create more of a nuisance of himself. Really trying to use that smoke to his advantage, but it's only so. How is he not taking any damage? I have no idea how that's the thing. But he is, perhaps he's Neo from the Matrix, just dodging all the bullets. And Astralis will concede a round. So 2 rounds for Liquids. They'll have a superior bank as well. So things starting to turn around a little bit. That's a really critical frag. Had Astralis saved a gun there is definitely an argument that they can try to buy up in the following round to keep the pressure on Team Liquid, but now that's not really the case.
So again, you see an example of Team Liquid trying to capitalize on previous evidence shown with the 2 smokes on short. There was more mid-presence at the very least last time, but there we go. Astralis made a gamble play, 4 people towards the A site, maybe had a hard read, didn't seem so hard after all. And now they're on the pistols of the one rifle of Dupree, so what are they trying to do with it? B bomb site, more or less abandoned for the time being, but you don't expect a fast play anyway, and even if so, so be it. Risks must be taken.
So far this tournament, I think Liquid have proven themselves to be very effective in these rounds. Again, it's something that I think we saw Jordan highlight on the desk, just saying that one thing Liquid have been good at doing is making sure that, from a fundamentals perspective, they make sure they convert all these rounds where they're playing anti-eco. But I have no idea how that works. You're not supposed to win the long-range USP duel against an AK, especially when you have no Kevlar and your opponent has a helmet. So maybe that's the reason Glaive is so hyped, James. He is playing some good CS right now, and Dupree also gets a frag. This should not be happening. What is going on right now?
He got baited so hard right there. But there's still opportunity to clean things up. The rifle has been taken out of play now. Does Nitro hear the footsteps? I think he's anticipating, which means multiple targets all of a sudden. I mean, if Nitro was alive, the 2v3 is not so bad, but this is now a disaster. Got to be so afraid of your Twist, especially for the fashion in which your teammates were baited into getting taken out. That smoke is brutal. Look at the time on the clock. What does he do, Twist? Does he push through the smoke? There's a crossfire now. Does he try and pop flash his way through? Surely it doesn't work. How does he get the bomb and plant the bomb? 20 seconds left. 2 AKs on the CT side. Trying to sneak out. He's got one. Oh, he's close. It is Twist. He's very dangerous. Glaive can't hide forever. The elbow won't be enough. It's the head. 8 seconds now. Running to plant the bomb. No, he's going for elimination. Oh, he's got past it. Oh! Twist has made it work. What an animal. He knows he can't play for the bomb plant, so he plays for the elimination. He picks the right spot, gets the 3rd kill. Cool as a cucumber.
Wow.
In a fridge.
You rarely see a player in that position win a round with that kind of decision making. It's one of the reasons why Twist got picked up onto this team, one of the hottest prospects, new young talents in the North American scene, and you can see exactly why. Just as James said, so cool and considered in that moment. Didn't panic in a 1v3 when everything was falling apart around him. Elige now trying to dive through the smoke with Device with excellent amounts of damage there, defending that smoke, not allowing a single Liquid member to have control of middle. Out comes the knife. Not sure what Device is up to there, but perhaps I guess he realized he couldn't get a reload in, and smoke was going away anyway, so why not give it a shot?
Either way, it's a 4 versus 2, and the bomb is exposed. Front page of National Enquirer. How do Liquid clean that mess up? It's going to be a hard one. But Twist is alive. He doesn't care about the odds. He won't even crack a smile in a round he's supposed to lose, which he absolutely annihilates. There is a player on short in Zipex, not peeking just yet, but again, if there's an engagement elsewhere and they are still exposed, expect him to pop out immediately. Jungle smoked off. And we see Glaive push T ramp. So how do they get a bomb plant? They can only plant default, but they don't know that. Taco taken out from T ramp, and now Twist has massive problems again, but here he is. He knows where one of the last 2 players are, moving around the smoke, but he can't quite get his crosshair there in time, and it's Astralis on double figures.
Astralis is pushing Liquid into that struggle bus at the moment. It's Liquid have, I mean, we saw it. We saw that 8-0, 9-0 type situation. Liquid win 1 round, and Astralis' economy is just in tatters. And that's because Liquid have been doing well to get kills. They've been keeping the pressure on. They've just been struggling to find these consistent approaches. And Astralis have so many mix-ups to their CT defense, it's very difficult to nail down exactly how they're going to play each round, and then how do you counter it?
You saw how early Nitro scoped into apartments. You see the same kind of thing from Fallen as well. You don't want to get to the entrance to A and then scope because you would be heard, so you do it early and you start walking, or you hold your angle in case there's a push. He'll come into play later. But again, Team Liquid haven't been shy to have 5 people pushing a site. They've shown some presence top mid in this round. Now they are going all in. They're really favoring these, well, they've only got 1 smoke grenade, so they need picks. The whole team is here, no split. They've got to pop some heads. Again, they're not trying to make some sound, but no one's in the shadow position just yet. But you can see the anticipation from Astralis with the HE grenade on the ramp. Spotting some players now, that's a lot of question marks on the radar, a lot of answers from Team Liquid as well. The frags work out so far. Magic's still on the site, but there he goes as well, and that is surely the round.
Yeah, there's not too much you can do from this position, and their money is not good at all, so they're going to have to try and save these 2 rifles. I do like that they've been giving, the AK to Magisk, when he's in that position. I think we've consistently seen that decision made by the team, and Magisk is in a spot where there's going to be a lot of headshot angles potentially for him to play with. He's the first point of defense, so you want him to have the first bullet headshot potential so that he can make sure that he can have a more even footing when he's challenged in those 1v1s. So I do like those, consistent decisions from Astralis. I think Astralis is a team where you can deconstruct everything that they do. Everything they do is for a reason, pretty much. So. But Liquid doing really well here towards the end of the half, in which they've struggled so much to scrape together one more round. Every single round they have to fight so hard for it. I think that's the only round in which it looks kind of easy for them. But now we move into the last one. Can they convert? They've had a lot of trouble doing so, James. Again, as I mentioned, the anti-force fights, the anti-ecos, they could have been so good at handling those rounds, but so far in this Mirage game, Astralis have caused them problems every single time.
Glaive and Zipex leading on the server at the moment with 14 kills, but Twist not far behind. Magisk having a quick look on the ramp. Not seeing anything. Doesn't mean it's clear though. Sometimes you see people on the upper level around the corner peeking every few seconds, so it's not complete information, but it is a fair amount. Zipex moving onto the balcony, I think, in the apartments as well. So we'll see if Astralis advance their position. So they might need to with 4 pistols and 1 rifle. Liberties might have to be taken. See a boost around the window. How could they possibly deal with Device's position? Does he sense the rat? Ooh, straight in the face, but I think he shot the gun away as well. Forced out now. Actually, the smoke will save him from the Molotov. But I don't think he can retrieve the gun. I think it's on the floor, in mid. Glaive, speaking of mid, around that smoke. But he will soon be forced away. Oh, he's going for a cheeky one. He heard the Molotov being thrown. And look at that punish. He's out of there very quickly indeed. Liege leave a flower on the carcass of his teammate, but he can't do much else.
Yep, makes it untradeable. Very nicely done. That's some good counter-strike right there from Glaive. Some of the basics. Now Dupree looking to hold things down. That is an absolute slaughter there on the catwalk position. Nafly doing his best. He can only eke out a single kill. Astralis finish as they start incredibly strong there. I don't think there was one round where Liquid looked like they had an okay time. Every other round was incredibly difficult. And this version of Astralis, James, is just something very special indeed.
That is so dangerous. Even with 4 pistols and a rifle, absolutely devastating. And this is only one map. They have shown so many examples, so many traps, basic traps as well. And Liquid have just taken the bait almost every single time. 4 rounds on the board for Liquid as they look to defend in this pistol.
Yeah, Liquid won the first pistol round. Now they will be... Oh, sorry, rather, Astralis won the first pistol round. Now let's see if Liquid can equalize. Quick A-rush here from Astralis. Actually, 3 players here to defend. Nice turnaround there from Magis to deal with the Liege as we get more Astralis players pressing ever forward into the bomb site. But so far, the USB shots are raining in pretty effectively, giving Liquid a decent situation to prevent the plant. This is a very open bomb site. Nice snap there coming in from the likes of the Astralis players as they try to continue to create a spot where they can plant the bomb, but very intelligently, understanding that they're just in the open. They can't get a clean plant. They're going to rotate. There's plenty of time.
Does Taco get here fast enough to seek? Ooh, I do wonder if we just saw Glaive move into the apartments, but now he's going back, and now Taco has the sound cues. Taco may let them advance somewhere, but surely he's going to run around this corner and try to pick them off before they make it around the corner themselves. Does he pick up the bomb? Oh, he's being teased. Nitro's making his way back. Oh, he's facing immediately, trying to use the range. Wondered if he'd try to let them plant the bomb, but no, he won't let them take position. But now he is the bait. Liquid's turn to play the bait and switch. Taco on the flank, but the bomb is getting planted default. That's a brazen plant, but the right one.
Yeah, lots of options there. That's the one they picked, though. Now they spot Taco. Beautiful adjustment from Taco. Very calm. And just look at his health. Had Glaive had a chance to turn around and spray any amount of bullets towards him, he would be very dead. Taco's composure really saving him in that situation, but it's not over just yet. Dupree lies in wait. And that is Taco dead. Headshot, no less, but it's not a good plant for him. Can he make it around in time? Has to be an instant headshot. Oh, coming off the bomb, Nitro, and Dupree nails him with the Glock. Oh, so many decisions made from both sides in that 2v2, but it's Astralis to win the second pistol round.
I thought surely if Taco comes out first, it's GG because Nitro's got a kit and it's planted default. But he came off the bomb, got back on the bomb, and that was the half a second that Dupree needed to take him off the bomb again. And there is a shot. Look at that. He's like, whatever. 12-4, whatever. We've got more work to do. Focused on the rounds to come, not the rounds that have gone.
Wow. Some big damage there from the Zipex straight away with that UMP. Although, good return from Liquid as they try to hold on to this side. The CZ is dangerous! And Lee's coming in with the double. And that's the bomb at his feet as well. Lots of work for Astralis now. A taste of their own medicine, perhaps. And it's very bitter indeed as it's up to Glaive and Device to somehow break back into the A site. That could be a strong Molotov, but how can Device get into position to punish both players? Only able to take down one so far. A lot more work to be done.
Taco peeking from CT. Still have Elysian Shadow with a Galil. Very dangerous indeed, but he's going to bait his teammate for the time being. Oh, straight in the face. Maybe they can fix this. They know where Taco was. Device slowly moving in. There is a pop flash, rudimentary one. Taco hears it, avoids it, but gets shot in the back of the head. That leaves Naflight alone. He's been doing terrible things with the Desert Eagle so far. He wants to make sure it's a kill. Oh, but he won't this time. He puts Device in the red, but it's his teammate with the bomb, forcing his way forwards. Oh, he's got some cover as well, but he can't land the shot. If he had tagged Device, he had the boxes for cover, but no, it's 13-4 Astralis.
3 rounds away from a dominant finish in map 1. Astralis in such a fantastic position. And that, what they were able to do there is something that Liquid struggled to do when they were in those desperate positions against the 4 spies. Able to come back. Again, this Astralis team, every time things look bad for them, every time that, the opposing team creates a situation which is incredibly awkward for them, and there's a lot of pressure on them to win the rounds and find a way to do it. They just hold their nerve and they make great decisions. They appear unaffected entirely by any amount of pressure, this Astralis team.
What do Liquid have to offer? It is forced by City. The CTs are out with the CZs once again. 3 smokes for Team Liquid. We will see how they choose to use those. But the ball is firmly in Astralis' court. And they're firing their balls from a cannon. There seems to be no response. 2 players out mid very early on, but now we see Elysian moving towards that connected position. You see those smoke grenades bounced off the wall by the CT side. Naflight peeking early. The crouch helps him get the kill. That's a rifle to be collected. Elysian taken down in the meantime. Maybe looking for someone to try and flank Naf. And there goes Naf, so the rifle's been taken away once more. 3 players versus the 4 of Astralis. 2. Now Nitro's been picked off. Does Taco make a play through the smoke? Specs need not take such a risk. Minute 10 on the clock for Astralis.
Quick flashbang, turn away from Taco, successful, but Magisk playing the anti-flash for his teammate, and that is very good team play indeed. Easy cleanup, 14-4, 2 rounds away. Astralis from a dominant map 1 in this grand finals here at ECS Season 5 at the Wembley SSE Arena. They are looking incredible at the moment. Liquid is such a test for them. It is just map 1, of course, and it's still not over. Can't count them out just yet. It is Counter-Strike after all, but they are bringing the CZs to bear once again. And so far, Liquid, or rather Astralis, have shown that they are very confident in every single situation.
4 spies every round now for Liquid. They've got 3 players around that connected position, but look at the range. dupreeh, does he continue to push CT? Is there a flash from his teammate? You'll see that no one is there whatsoever. Really strong post-plant position, of course. And look how deep he's gone. Taco could get caught by surprise. He'll make his way through the crawl space just about. That really funnels Team Liquid. And there are still 2 more smokes for Astralis to replenish around connector. That could be a problem. Zipex holding an angle on the high ground. Some flashbangs coming in. He can call them all day, but the CTs, they are starting to spread. Checking the T ramp, but the CT ramp is still in control of Astralis. With 2 players now. Magisk moving forward. The bomb on triple. The CTs charging forward. Who's going to get the kills? There's one for both sides. Naf versus Magisk. Is there time to defuse the bomb? I don't think there is.
Oh, no.
Picking up the rifle. He's got to run. It's game point Astralis.
Heartbreaking from Team Liquid. That was such a good effort from them as well. Their setup from Astralis was fearsome. They managed to, as you mentioned, take over CT completely. They had 1 person watching the flank over by the pit position, and they had players on the side as well, just spread across the side. It was a very strong setup, as you said, funneling all those CT defenders as they came in for the retake, and somehow they still managed to take down every Astralis player, but just not with enough time. A rough break for Team Liquid. And here's the last chance. No margin for error at this point. And that's not a good start. The AK's gone.
As is Elige. Left with a French gun on twist and 2 MP9s. Nitro playing close range, but Device will surely reposition once that smoke disappears. So nothing about this round will be easy for Team Liquid. And at this point, maybe the end of this game will be a relief for Team Liquid. But with Dust 2 to come, you do wonder.
Everything slows down into the mid-round as Astralis toy with this 4v3 advantage. They know that being 3 against 4, Liquid are in a position where they can't simply just play ultra passive. They're very incentivized to look for information and go across the map, and Astralis want to be able to punish that, although Liquid, they're going to have to worry about dupreeh because the 2 players coming out of connector, they're both looking to him, and Twist will get it done, and there's limited damage done. That's a 3v3. If Taco can make some magic happen with the MP9, maybe there's a chance to hold on to this round here for Team Liquid. Taco tries to escape, but there will be no escape, and Team Liquid able to recover. Taco did just enough.
Taco under the window. Most people jumping out, going to look in the corner to the left, and then a corner to the right. Took a weird position. And Twist then came into beast. So, a bubble of air for Team Liquid to breathe on, but can they make it to the surface? It is a very long road up. 10 rounds in a row is what's required. They've broken the Astralis for the time being, put them on 4 Deagles and a CZ75. 1 flash for Glaive. For the time being, Astralis will show presence around the map. 2 players towards B, 2 players towards A, 1 player in mid with the bomb in tow. But what will they do afterwards? So what is the goal here for Astralis there? Trying to put some pressure, maybe try and get a pick towards the B bomb site. But they are being picked off, and they are answering back as well. The bomb has not been spotted by Liquid. It's just around the corner from T-spawn so far, so they don't quite know what's going on. But now dupreeh is on his own. He's got no one to rotate the bomb to him, and no one to rotate the bomb to, which makes life a lot harder. I think he spotted that. Oh, but he tried to shoot him through the bar. Seems that one was solid. Round number 6 for Team Liquid.
A small respite from the terror that has been Astralis' buys, as Liquid do get rid of that money, and they force out some pistols. But honestly, so far in this Mirage game, Astralis have certainly caused issue in all of these rounds in which they've had pistols. So we'll see if they can do so again in this one. They've got a couple of Deagles, 3 CZs. That's a really nice spread because the Deagles and CZs are very good, are very strong at different different aspects. CZ's much more dynamic and versatile in the mid to close range, and Deagle's really good at posting up for those long distance one-shots, and not as strong as for the run and gun. So CZ's can create the space for the Deagles to take good positions. But let's see if Astralis can find the kind of round that they're looking for with these guns. Not too much info here for Liquid. Playing 3 on A at the moment. Will they go for info there? As we close into the 1 minute mark. And Team Liquid are surely curious. They haven't really spotted too much just yet.
An aggressive peek. Nothing seen on the ramp. Quiet in mid. What do you make of this Team Liquid? Dupree in the off angle. Now, he could choose aggression or he could choose a late flank, maybe catching somebody rotating, peeking the window. 3 players with the bomb in B. Do they realize what's going on? Doesn't seem so Liquid. They're repositioning on B, but look how deep the guys are on A. They're not moving a muscle just yet. Nitro being patient around the window, picks off the player. There goes Glaive. Now the players in the apartments. Taco spots 2, and again, he's got to buy time for his teammate to come in, but can he come in time? Too many angles to hold, but Nitro is here. Can he stop the plant? Doesn't know if it's fake or not, but he'll peek. No plant for Astralis. They keep the money as low as possible. Round number 7 for Team Liquid.
They take a moment to have a bit of a breather here, as it could. I mean, there's no greater test of your composure than being down against match point, and they are down so many rounds. It's going to take quite a while for them to bring this back to overtime. Taking it 1 round at a time. It's all about your ability to reset mentally, continuously here for Team Liquid. And again, they have the class, they have the experience, they have the talent. Looking to try and get some info on mid. Astralis with a fairly quick timing on their mid presence. That pressure so far from Team Liquid. Waiting to come in. And there it is. Nafly finding an elevated position to catch Glaive, punishing Astralis for their fast mid control. Liquid will be happy with the 5 versus 4 early into this round. That really alleviates the burden of them having to go and be aggressive and find out what Astralis is doing. Instead, they can just rest confident on the bomb sites with their setups. And Astralis looking for that B split.
He is alone with the bomb. He wins the duel. Very, very important. Taco's reposition, but the flashbang is absolutely perfect. He doesn't see anything. His eyes are permanently closed, perhaps, if Astralis win this round. Device dropping the bomb to his teammate, and he will take position on short. Post-plant positions being set up very promptly by Astralis.
This is not good. Naf needs to go absolutely nuclear here. We've got Elige winning his duel at Catwalk. That will open up some avenues of attack into this bomb site. They've evened up the numbers, but the time is against them, as are the T players on Astralis with those AKs in hand. No grenades for them as it comes down to the peaks, and absolutely crushing push into the bomb site. How have Liquid managed that? On paper, you never suspected that could be the outcome.
Still looking calm, but I can see
some cracks, James.
A hint of frustration. Maybe Liquid can capitalize on that. Back on the pistols for Astralis. 4 CZs, 5 now. They have some smokes. Maybe there is an execute in mind. Even rounds such as this, a game can be won. Second AWP for Liquid, Naf and Nitro. And they're going for a mid-push. They are very out of position now, Team Liquid. They could have a flank, but it is Nitro alone. He may have to just fall back all the way to CT spawn to avoid the flashbang pushes. Does not want to give this weapon up. Nafly lets 1 player go past. Got to be careful, though. Through the flames, that will destroy his vision. Only 1 frag for Elige. Is this the round that takes the game?
It would be so fitting, wouldn't it? Astralis have been so dangerous with these CZs. Now Dupree's picked up an AWP. We know how explosive he can be with that weapon. Only 2 members for Team Liquid. There is nothing but going for this in this situation with Astralis on match point. Nitro, that's a nice catch for him. That might make a chance here. Twist jumps around the corner, finds himself a quick headshot onto the Device. Now it's down to Dupree. The bomb being held. Oh, he's actually visible. Oh, wow, Twist saves the day. The knight in shining armor.
Core blimey, son. That one was tight. That one was scary. That one is another one for Team Liquid. 1 round away from double figures. Great awareness from Nitro. Nice flick from him as well. Twist continues to be an absolute animal, despite the arduous task of coming back that Liquid have.
It seemed like there was maybe a hesitation from Dupree. I think he was going to just spam in the smoke, but then realized actually he's visible in front of the smoke. Then had too much time to adjust, but no time to rue that round for them. They have a very good buy going into this one. Although the double AWPs from Team Liquid could be a much-needed switch up on the dynamic to help them gain the advantages to make sure that they can keep this game going for themselves. Close that difference, secure that overtime.
Astralis forced to pay Liquid more respect now with the successes we are seeing on the CT side. 5 rounds in a row for Team Liquid after Astralis took the first 4. Seems Liquid needed their backs to the wall to turn up here on Mirage. Three players deep in A for Team Liquid. 3 players in mid for Astralis.
Here comes the quick split into the bomb site. Astralis took their time to set up what could be a devastating push. Down to the shots now. Nitro whiffs his. Elige in a great position. Unpunished so far as Nitro gets the legs. No chance for another one. It's a 2v2 here. This is going to go down to the last men as both teams try to vie for this bomb site still. It's only 20 seconds. The bomb has to go down. It's up to Zipex to clutch this. 17 seconds. He's got 17 health. He's got to get the bomb. This is a horrible situation for him. And Naf goes for the repositioning. Zipex knows he's just got to go for it. And he's fortunate enough, but there it is! Naf with the reposition is successful, keeps it alive for Liquid on map 1 in this series. I can't believe how much composure we're seeing from Team Liquid right now.
Hanging on by a hair. Look at him, same as always. After he messed up the smoke on CT as well, it's like, oh God, they're panicking. They've got too much adrenaline in the system, but he makes sure he lands that AWP shot. 5 rounds between the 2 teams now. And Astralis will take a moment. What do we change? How do we go back to the success at the beginning of this half?
The crazy thing is that, you know, when you get to that match point and you've got so many rounds to work with, a team of the quality of Astralis, you think, well, we could even just run an A split every single round. Eventually it's going to work. You know, there's rounds like that in Counter-Strike. The high variance rounds, those ones can be good go-tos over and over again because eventually you're going to get it. And especially if it can rely around smokes and you can consistently get bomb plants, you can consistently keep, with that loss bonus, getting the big buys again and again and again. And it's just unrelenting. That's what Liquid have to deal with right now. Look at this buy. Again, just incredible buy from Astralis. They are want for nothing.
Now it's Taco with the AWP, so there is a change in approach, but this could be a nasty surprise unless he's got a pop flash from his teammate. Nafly's lined up for it. Did he spot Device? Surely he did. If Device fired before moving, he probably would have got a kill there. Oh, I think he was going for the headshot angle on the rim as well, and that would have hit Taco. He's being teased. Sees him, well, had a 3rd opportunity, although he doesn't know how many opportunities he's had. Oh, the boost at the back of the site. This is early New Mirage. After the changes, don't forget old Mirage. Oh, they were lining up for Elige, but down he goes. Taco. Oh dear. Poor timing, unbeknownst to him, but there's a second player, Nafly, keeping control of the B bomb site, and that's where Astralis are headed, but there's only 2 of them left.
Yeah, there's a quick push down into the pit position from Twist just to confirm that this is exactly what's happening. That will get Nitro to rotate with the AWP into the shot position. And right now, Astralis have a timing window in which Nitro is not in position in shop. If they can make the push onto B without Nitro there, they can make this work, but they have to defeat Nafly. There's the 1v1 from Zipex. Okay, a chance now for the clutch. Can Zipex? We've seen him do it so many times before. Secure map 1 here for Astralis. Nitro now moving into position. Oh my God, Zipex playing with fire, pulls out the AWP. Not something you see too commonly from him. And now he's got 2 players to worry about. Where is the second player? Where is Twist going to be attacking from? A whiff shot from Zipex and a bullet in the back of the head from Twist.
In the back.
Liquid do it again, James. They are on a crazy streak of rounds. This has to be playing on Astralis' minds right now.
It's coming so close every single time. They're just about not getting there. You saw Nitro, he started off holding the angle through the window to make sure there was no jump towards the bench position. Meanwhile, Twist was on the high ground. 4 rounds away, Team Liquid. You didn't see this coming in the first half. 4 rounds away. The bomb plant allows Astralis to continue. Magisk has gone for his old faithful, the Krieg. The scoped weapon. I love me some Krieg. Nitro over timing, expecting them to run out after the smoke goes down. Not landing the mark on this occasion though. This time there is an open connector, no CT smoke off the wall in mid.
Yeah, Astralis have gained a lot of control around middle. Liquid stacking forward towards A. This is very interesting to be in a position like this where you're going for these sort of hard reads, which this is a hard read. Liquid don't have the information to just stack 4 and A at the start of the round. That's not a thing that happens. So, and they are 1 round away from losing this map.
They've put Taco in the aggressive B position, which often does allow you to send this extra person towards the A site, but abandoning mid at the same time. We have seen some nice CT strats from Team Liquid. Is this going to be one of them though? Elige picked off again, Dupree chasing the sniper, but the 180 from Nitro! Now we've got Taco moving into position in a short position. And there's Twist getting traded by Zipex, 3 on 3. Naflight's not being expected, he's playing for 2 kills. Will he get the second one? He'll get the bell at the very least. But they need the kills. The bomb moving down the ramp, but as Nitro gets picked off, maybe it goes back towards A. There is Taco now, 1 versus 1. But Zipex is in T-spawn with 12 HP. How on earth does this play out?
Ridiculous. Another situation for Zipex to clutch.
Taco knows he's tagged. Taco has his pistol out. He knows Zipex is low.
Going for the default plants. Taco will be forced to close the distance now. Could this be the moment? Zipex, 12 points of health. He needs the element of surprise. Taco has the AK now. All the advantages in Taco's favor. Surely there's no way Zipex is going to get spammed. Will he check for this? Oh no! Oh, it's still going to be working out for Taco though in the end. I thought that he had sort of soft checked that and maybe he could get caught off guard, but in the end, it's another round for Team Liquid. They just don't know when to die, James.
Stay down. Astralis is saying, stay down. Taco says no.
That shot was... That was an insanely important shot. If Nitro dies to Dupree there, the round GG. Goes... Yeah, it's absolutely GG.
Regardless, Astralis got the bomb plant, which gives them the extra money at max loss to buy 3 rounds. Only 3.
All right. Okay. This is, how many rounds in a row is this? This is nuts.
All the rounds.
This is just all of the rounds.
It's 5
Crazy.
diffuses in a row.
That's insane.
Of 8 rounds in a row, 5 diffuses in a row, which tells you how close Astralis are getting. They're getting so close, but the door's getting slammed in their faces. They're losing teeth.
And the crazy thing about the bomb plants is that if you get the bomb plant with the max loss bonus, it guarantees a buy. You have $4,200. It's a guaranteed buy, no matter what happens. So there's just no breathing room. Right, Astralis is trying to suffocate Team Liquid, but they are holding so strong. It's just inspiring to see this performance out of Team Liquid when they're down against so much, backs against the wall. They look. I mean, we saw smiles from Twist earlier. This is not the time to be smiling, James. But
yeah, no smiling until you've won the map. Never mind the comeback. Twist off to a good start. Consistent, very dangerous player. Naf is exposed to Glaive. Surely there's a trade attempt from Glaive coming in. No, he's being patient for the time being, but Naf is wiping out these Astralis players. And now Glaive is suddenly, well, never mind. That was a quick one.
This surely can't go all the way. 2 more chances for Astralis, and that's around with no bomb plant. The first in forever, and that means that they won't have enough money for a full buy. So effectively, they're gonna have like 1 good chance left. There's 1 good chance left.
Don't write them out, Dan. They can buy CZ, they can buy Kevlar, they can buy grenades.
That's true.
They've basically got FAMASs.
That is true. Well, better than FAMAS, in fact. Well, this is... This would be the irony, wouldn't it? That they would be able to win the rounds where they have the CZs, but we'll see whether Liquid can hold strong here. They know they're close. This is where it gets really hard for Liquid, when you know after all that work, you're closing in on that overtime.
Oh boy, here come the numbers. Glaive tells Nitro to take a ticket. 4 on 4 quickly. Nafly trying to hold down his position. He's got 2 players in the market for him. Magic's picked off as well. No bomb plant, doesn't matter at this point, but they need to win the round. Astralis not quite doing that. The spray is there. 1 more round for overtime and map number 1. What a comeback.
I didn't think it was possible. When we saw exactly what Liquid were up against, when we saw exactly how Astralis were playing in that first half, they seemed entirely indomitable. But right now, Liquid are showing exactly what all those practice hours have really been doing. And all of the tournaments that they've played up until this point, all the experience that they've accrued is lending them this composure, this strength to hold strong in such a dire situation. And now they're 1 away. Again, I feel like it gets harder and harder the closer you get to that overtime. 1 more round for Team Liquid to secure overtime and to reset the slates.
There are 4 AK-47s on Team Liquid. There are 4 AKs. That is crazy. That really makes the edges a lot closer, especially when you've got people like Twist and Elise with AKs and Nafly.
No AWP though, James. That's the key point. That we've seen how important the AWP can be. Let's see how the adjustments from Team Liquid. As Lurpus was saying on the desk, Liquid are a team of incredibly skilled hybrid players. So they can make this full rifle buy look very, very strong indeed without the AWP. But
I think they could have had one if they wanted one, but more just, you don't necessarily, it depends on how you play, and this is just the 1 round.
Is this the round, James?
Astralis being very, very careful. Waiting out of the initial grenades like it's a map of Inferno. They want to reduce their variance. Re-smoking the window, but that sees enough to spray, but he will get punished for the tracers. Elise trying to punish, but there are 4 people around this. Even if he kills 1, maybe 2, surely he gets traded. There's Glaive with the bomb. Down he goes, trying to back off. Gets it. No, he doesn't. 2 versus 4. This is a disaster.
Taco finding his way in. Spray transfer. Can he take down Device? So critical, but he can't make it work. Device takes him out, and now it's down to Nitro on the A bomb site. Alone in the 1v3, picks up the first frag. Now it's going to be a difficult situation. 30 seconds left. He can't get to the bomber, although maybe could have caught him on the cross, but he doesn't want to waste the time. He's got to get himself straight to that B bomb site, but here lies Dupree in way. Nitro checks it. Oh, the composure. He considers every single possibility, and now he's earned himself a 1v1, but against the AWP. But not just an AWP, it's in the hands of Device. Perhaps at times the best AWPer the world has seen. So incredibly consistent. Oh, and he hits the shot! Astralis drive it home after what could have been a disastrous comeback from Team Liquid. They seemed out of it, but they have shown that they have turned up to this grand finals ready to fight.
Talk about edges, talk about margins. That was the closest one I have seen in a while. Down to the last 2 players, down to the bullet. No nades left for Team Liquid. Just got to play against Device. Tags him, but Device frags him 16-14. That was absolutely crazy. Thought it was going to be a landslide, but like a total wipeout, but no.
That was so cool. That was just, it's one of those storylines where it's just, you have the David and Goliath type situation where David's on the ropes. He's on the ropes the entire time, and it's just, we got to see a really clean, dominant performance, and that's beautiful to watch. And then we get to see the comeback. Also, so incredible. So they've really treated us here for map 1. I hope that the rest of the series looks like that.
Well, it seemed that everybody was firing on all cylinders, and map 2 is going to be Dust 2, with all the angels, all the crazy, down to the line, 2 versus 1, 1 versus 1 like we saw. Dust 2 is surely going to amplify that even more.
I can't wait. I just can't wait. It's going to be very explosive indeed. It's something you don't want to miss. Call your friends, call all of your family, get them on the stream, because this is definitely a historic moment here, especially for Astralis, because they're looking to cement themselves into their most dominant era, maybe the most dominant team of this year. That's what they want.
Can they win Dust 2 as well? Or will Team Liquid bring it to a 3rd map? We will find out after the break. See you back here soon.
When do I get given the Dragon Lore?
I keep telling you, they're not dropping you a Dragon Lore. They're going to drop you the 900,000 Face-It points. Face it, they're going to drop you 900,000 Face-It points and you can buy a Dragon Lore. They're not going to give it to you.
So I get given the item in my inventory.
You get given
Face-It Mikey's going to trade it over to me, personally.
Not quite. They're going to give you the Face-It points so
sorry,
you can buy it.
Hello? Yeah, no, I'm still with her. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get the Dragon Lore. We'll sell it after that. Yeah, cool. All right, Mum. Love ya. Sorry.
They're not going to give you the Dragon Lore, though. They're just going to give you the Face-It points so you can buy the Dragon Lore.
In my hands, Kobe throw to me, grab it, Kenny S comes round the corner.
There's no use explaining it to anybody.
He's out of there. I'm on A site. They're rushing me from short and long. I'm coming round the oil. You know I had to do... Yeah.
Let's talk about hubs. Oh, what's a hub, you ask? Think of it as a miniature Face-It, with all of its tools at your disposal. Whether you want to play with your community, run a league for your school, engage with fans while streaming, or create local leagues with prizes, hubs let you do that and much more. Join or create hubs right now on Face-It. Head to Face-It now and discover hubs.
Now I see I'm gonna live telling me. Gotta bring myself back to life, back to life. Now I have no fear, it has disappeared. I'm getting out of here, out of here. I can see the light, there in the dead of night, leaving it all behind, all behind. Whoa, walk through the fire, into the night. Walk through the fire, I gotta fight. Walk through the fire.
This is going to be a fantastic opportunity for you, James, and for us. I promise you, you're not going to regret it one bit. But what's your assistant going to do, that guy? Dave. Dave.
Not as assistant, we've been over this a few times, but been working pretty hard. Think a vacation could be pretty nice. Yeah.
Loser. What's important is that we do this together.
Don't touch me.
James? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
August.
Yeah.
You and I doing the minor.
1 + 1 = 2.
Together.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Well, I'm so excited, and I'm just going to call my madre. That is German for mother. She's always following what I'm doing. Hi, Mummy. Yes. No, I'm actually at work, and I've just signed the biggest contract of my life to cast the finals with James Bardolph. Yeah. See you later, guys. Yeah, Mummy, warm milk later, please. Thank you.
It's definitely breast milk, isn't it?
There's something wrong with that guy.
To be honest.
But what? You know the minors are in July, right? Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, look at the contract. It's not even.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. The contract itself, I need it. Also, this is a real contract, right?
It's bespoke. It even says real contract, and it has a stamp.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't read these.
No worries.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Mummy, all good. I've got the paperwork, and I'll see them there. Casting the finals.
Is he gone now?
We can only hope.
Because prior to that win, or prior to the 15-5 score, Twist won that 1v3 and the score is still 15-5. So like with all that luck kind of going Liquid's way, they're still in that position. So yeah, there is a little asterisk there because you do kind of go into, all right guys, let's just settle the round down. And you know, and Astralis have been working on this for a long time. This used to be a big part of their Achilles heel in the past.
And a point I was going to make, and actually perfectly, that the highlights showed it, was just how much Astralis celebrated after winning the first lap of a grand final. That must have been, you know, they almost acted like they'd won the grand final just because it would have been such a blow to their confidence. And that's when the sports psychologists would have their work cut out for them, is when you concede a map like that.
You know, the interesting thing that I started thinking towards the end of that comeback, when I think Liquid got to about 13 rounds, is this is starting to feel a lot like Sydney. You know, like if Astralis threw that map away from that big of a lead, I really think Liquid would have won this series. Now it's getting to that point where, like, you know, they had so many things going their way, but still couldn't quite do it. I don't, you know, like we said, Liquid is a very versatile team. They're obviously very highly skilled, but their CT sides are their strength, and you know that's something they're going to have to rely on heavily in the upcoming 2 maps.
And I mean, the reason I'm staring at this is because I had this, as you said, Sydney, I said Dallas, and that's because, of course, Liquid actually kept it close versus Astralis there as well. Couldn't convert it. There was a lot of 16-14 losses. The only map they did win was Mirage, and it was a 16-14, so just pipped at the post this time.
Well, unfortunately for all that history, we are going into Dust 2, and the history on Dust 2 isn't exactly looking good for Liquid, as it was 16-1 last time. One thing I noticed is on Liquid's T side, they have a lot of great communication going on, but they need a little bit of work on their nade usage. I noticed one thing Astralis is really, that's putting them above and beyond everyone else, is their nade usage. Obviously, that map, both teams played really well CT, but I think Liquid needs to, I see a lot of wasted grenades that have lineups, that have particular ways you could throw them. You know, Nades for Noobs plug, guys. Tune into my YouTube. I got some of these nades lined up here. No, but it is one of those things where a lot of these guys know that stuff, and they just need to remember the simple stuff.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. We're bringing the head-to-head up because it is Van Dolkin the Magnificent, the Liquid magician, who managed to get himself that full 30 bomb. And indeed, as you take a look at the stats, you will see that Xyp9x is there for Astralis. You can just see how the power of this man. And you know what? He did lose a clutch. He lost. It happens. It does happen. Even Xyp9x can lose clutches. Admittedly, he did have about 5 HP before the opportunity to try and win that 1v1. Taco won that one. Twists won one. Naf won one. Liquid's individuals did what they had to keep that close. It's just, it's heartbreaking for them. Now, you did say clutches, and talking of them, there is one you chose to break down.
Well, I mean, it's the one that we kind of looked at. We thought the match was about to end. We said, okay, well, let's look at Twist 1 versus 3.
Let's do it.
I mean, this is one of those situations where there's not a lot of time left on the clock, and he somehow is able to pull this together. Not alone is he facing a crossfire, but then the last person knows where he's at with the time as kind of an insulation to even more comfort the high chance of winning. So he's coming up connector. This guy could literally leave. He doesn't want to because, like, okay, there's no way this guy checks. He's going for the plant. Misread. Twist win that round, and at that point, it's, what is it, 3 or 4 rounds, or 3, what is that, 3rd round for Liquid there. So, you know, moving into after this round, I think the rest of Liquid's places, you can tell when they won this round, they're all looking at each other like, how do we almost lose that eco? Like, they just weren't really having all the little kind of points they needed to. It might be the finals pressure, but these guys just need to keep at it.
I love that bloodthirst from him as well. Like, it's the second frag. Instead of kind of being aware of his position and relocating, he just hunts him down.
Twist is a solid guy. They need to keep it up.
I think one interesting point that Jordan made with nade usage is that I think gets overlooked is it's not just those double nade stacks that Astralis does. Those are the ones that are, you know, the highlight nades. Like, those are the ones that catch everyone's attention. But it's, you know, it's the how many flashes you use to take over middle on Inferno. It's how many nades you use to take over Banana. Like, you waste everything, or have you just figured out a way to take over areas with a couple of them? And also, one thing to keep in mind for this game is Astralis won both pistols. They racked up big leads to start at both halves. I think it was 8-0 in the first half, 4-0 in the second half. So if you think about it from that perspective, you know, a lot more things could have actually gone Liquid's way.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the economy management. And that's why that round that Twist won that we just saw the replay of is so big, because if they lost that, they would have been completely broke.
And actually saw Hazed, of course, you know, a North American Counter-Strike player. He tweeted out saying, imagine how different this game would have looked if Liquid won one of the 7 rounds in that first half where they got so close. I mean, it's just, it was definitely taken away from them, but now they reset, and so will we. We're going into Dust 2, and as we said before, the last time these teams did meet on this map, it was a blowout. Not disregarding, though, Liquid's Dust 2 hasn't looked bad, right, Tommy? I mean, they've had some successes on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it was just not pretty the last time around, but admittedly, Astralis probably are going to be one of the best teams on Dust 2 whenever, you know, everybody actually starts playing it and we get more data points to look at. They just have really good personnel on that map. But one thing I will say is, first of all, on the terrorist side, it's not a very tactical map. What it comes down to a lot of the time is execution and reading the other team. And I would actually say that Astralis is like, that wouldn't be the #1 strength of Astralis relative to the other teams. Obviously, they're very good at, you know, executing, but so is everybody else. It's all the tactics and everything else that Glaive puts in that I don't think is as helpful on Dust 2. So in a relative basis,
they're going to need more of those CT sides.
I think there's something there. And on the CT side, I actually think Liquid can match these guys punch for punch.
Oh, yes.
So I actually think that, you know, if we get similar performances out of Twist and Nav, or, you know, if Ellie steps up, you know, this could actually still get interesting despite, you know, the result from the last time around.
Yeah, absolutely. They're having a whale of a time. They're trying to get the beach ball to the casters, and I'm going to try and get them on the microphone as well. A dejected James Bardolph and DDK are standing by to cast this one. I'm hoping for a third.
They can do better, man. They can do better.
Well, that could have been fun, but that guy sucks. Ball's all the way over there. What the hell, guys? Come on. This is not going to work out, is it? There's too much beer, too much beer. Well, at least we've got Dust 2 coming up for you. Oh, we might almost get there. We might almost get there. Oh, he's hit the bloody camera, hasn't he? He's hit that camera. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, right. All right, Dan, you take over. I'm off, I'm off.
All right, well, James, you're a very big man. I don't know how you're going to fit through these spaces here. There's wires everywhere. Here he goes, under the wires. You can see in that, all that. Oh. James! James, you can't do better than that. You can't call people out and then just do a worse job. You realize that, right? Now you look like a huge hypocrite. Come on, man.
And I got the ball, I launched the ball. What do you want? What do you want?
Well, James, the question is, like, who do you have for this Dust 2, right? This is a map, as Tommy said, we lack data points. There's not enough data right now. It's a new map. It's a little bit different to the old Dust 2. I mean, a lot of the mechanics are the same. The old Dust 2 was a great map. But these two teams, I mean, Liquid have a great affinity for it. And I felt like Astralis and the old Dust 2 were actually the most innovative and advanced team with how they actually played the map. I remember it very vividly. So this seems like a perfect map too from every single perspective. Where do you stand, James?
Well,
you can get your
I'm sitting
mind
down
off the
there.
beach balls.
I'm sitting down right now. But on the old Dust 2, I think Device was one of the best examples of a player who would punish habits of other teams. That said, as you mentioned, the data points aren't there for new Dust 2, so who knows what we can expect in that respect. For me, I think at this point, never bet against Astralis. It'll be very interesting, it'll be very exciting. It will be a journey for all of us, that is for sure. I've actually got a video coming out soon on the Face It channel, which you're all subscribed to, of course, about Dust 2 with some funky stuff, including a Bardolph Molotov, of course, on the car position on B, which Molotovs everything, all at once. We wait for the huddle to finish and then the match to begin. It appears that Astralis will be starting on the CT side, so we'll see if they can hold down that short position from CT mid.
I mean, one of the cool things as well about Dust 2 is that even, you know, with all the professional players, with the map being out of the circuit for the longest time, Dust 2 is, I guess, the quintessential Counter-Strike map. I don't think you could really, like, what other map could you put in its place? There are some close contenders, but it's Dust 2, isn't it? And it's a map where if you go on, like, deathmatch, you're probably playing Dust 2. So these players are going to, you know, they may not have all the, you know, as much of the practice and routine as they will have on other maps, but because of that very fact, they're still going to use the duels on, you know, how you would take the duels and the angles on this new map. So we should still see, I think, a very high individual level when it comes to this map. But I'm mentioning Astralis because I think that, you know, if the past is anything to judge them by, they just have too many tricks up their sleeves.
But again, if the past, you can't judge Liquid by the past because they're continuing to write history in their own team careers and do better and go further than they have before. This could be the last map of ECS Season 5. It's up to these two teams to decide it. Well, that's interesting. The P250 to take the duels in mid and keep the CTs on it. Stop the CTs running up mid immediately. So we see some differences. Glaive looking towards the short position. He spots one player and falls back. 3 players on A for Astralis.
Now we see things settling to the 2-3 split. And it's pretty difficult here for Astralis just due to the fact that One of the most dangerous things on this map will always be the B split. If you can get a really quick B split where the CTs are still sitting on long, still sitting in these kind of deep positions on A, it's very powerful. But enough about the B split, because we have the A push jumping down off the catwalk, trying to split 2-3, the low ground, the high ground, trying to use all of that to their advantage. But Device looks very calm at the moment, still having to try to drop out of position, back into elevator, back into CT spawn, still somehow alive. A 3v3 here for both sides as we look at this post-plant situation. Things getting quite tense. Magisk really needs to unlock this frag, but he can't do it. Device can, but maybe there's been some space created now.
Taco up close, he's got the bullets for this. Magisk has to find a headshot soon, and he does. And there goes Nafly as well. Liquid, they planted for short, they kept a player on short, they had the control, but it is a pistol round after all. Sometimes you get shot in the face. 1-0 Astralis, not the start that Liquid wanted.
One of the best things about the comeback from Liquid in the previous map and is I think that it's really served, of course they didn't win it, but in basically threatening Astralis' victory so heavily, they humbled Astralis. A lot of the confidence we saw Astralis going to this match with, they should be in a position where they are more humbled, and they have to respect Liquid. And Liquid will be taking a force supply straight into that B bomb site. This is going to be interesting. Oh, hello! Twist with a CZ headshot. Dispatches Magisk, and they have a 5-man setup on the B bomb side. This will be tough to break for Astralis.
Dupree, here's the movement. Here's Taco jumping. Taco trying to get away, just about makes it. Can they hold on? That's the question. Dupree lurking in the halls, but he does not have the range of the MP9 versus Kevlar, but Twist and Taco are very tagged. He's got to be late on alert because there are 3 outside B. These guys have to be the ones running distraction. The smoke coming in from the CT side. Nafly drops for Dupree the bite. There's a trade 2-on-2 now. Taco in that car position, but Elise will clean up with the UMP. And this is a better round for Liquid to win, resetting Astralis immediately.
It was very cool to see them just go for that force buy with the UMPs here. Really fast playing to the B-bomb site. Keep that pace up high straight away. And the T's when they take over the economy. And when you start to deny the AWPs from the CT side, things do get really tough, honestly, because there's enormous ranges on this map to deal with. And one of the ways to mitigate the fact that your rotations between bomb sites can be slow is by being able to be an effective support for, let's say, the A players or the B players by taking these long ranges with an AWP. Now, of course, we're going to see the scout in play here from Device. And so far, not working out for him. Nitro on the scout as well. Hello. That is some good damage onto Elise. Got to be careful. You don't want to get tagged up by the scout too many times. Those Deagles will now be just a one-shot away from a kill onto Elise. Nice pop flash there. The long take comes in from Team Liquid. No one there, though.
You've got to be careful with this car position, however, especially on the main buy rounds, because you have to have pretty specific and high flashbangs for the position. It's very easy to avoid flashes if you are behind that car, but nobody is. Although they don't know that, so it is a threat for the time being. Device with many targets. Can he keep peppering these players? And his teammate on short can clean up. The Molotov stops him from changing position. And he's forced down to the CZ. Nitro with a number of headshots, and Liquid prevail.
A good start then from Liquid. Able to quickly turn the tide, turn the tables on the Astralis players. The Danes in a bit of economic hardship at the moment, to say the least. Down to those USPs. We got a flash onto Device there, but that's basically the only investment in this round. So this will be a nice and easy one for Team Liquid to build some cash, get some easy kills. It's nice. It's nice when you don't have to work too hard for the round, James. It's nice. It feels good. It feels good.
Nice. Magisk in CT. Can't expect much, don't get much. Well then, let's see what kind of shape Astralis are in for the buy round. Device has 58-50. AWP, of course. How they approach the mid position. No sniper rifle for Liquid for the moment. If they have an opportunity, will they take it if they win this round? That remains to be seen. How do they avoid the Device in the meantime? Bouncing a smoke off the wall. This allows the CTs to make their way through towards B without being seen by a sniper who might be in T-spawn.
Yeah, having Device on the AWP now is so important. Not too much utility here for Astralis, and that's where things could get awkward. It makes the set pieces quite strong for Team Liquid. But have to hold that fort because, oh, Device challenge, he's actually going to whip the shot. That is a big problem. Now Glaive has to deliver with the rifle. He's got one so far, able to duck behind cover down onto the ramp, and he's got assistance coming in from long as well. Now the numbers start to get a bit troublesome here for Liquid. That's, as I say that, 3 headshots, and the round's over. So, didn't seem that troublesome after all. Team Liquid 4 now to the 1 of Astralis.
Very brief indeed. I think Twist was going to try to pick up that AWP, but doesn't seem to be terribly important for the time being. In fact, Nitro's going to buy one. So maybe this is where they want to be. But knowing that Astralis are on an eco round, I always find it interesting in this situation, although as far as SMGs are concerned, there are a lot longer ranges on Dust 2, so it's a bigger consideration than it might be on some other maps on an anti-eco or anti-force fight. Device only good for the 1 kill in that situation. There can be some awkward angles here. And you see on the corner of short, towards this position, it used to be a curved wall, which made it really easy to flash yourself in. Now there's a small window, so you have to do a jump throw if you want to make a fast play towards short. Glaive and Zipex left. Now it's just Zipex with a CZ. Looking for damage at this point. And now he can pick up an AK. Twist is close though, dropping the Molotov, but Zipex escapes with the AK. Doesn't know where the bomb is going just yet. The aim punch, even though it's improved, still bad enough to allow Nafly to get an easier kill there.
Yeah, Liquid giving Astralis some of the same treatment that they received on that first half of Mirage, but an ability now to change the approach with the additional economy will allow Astralis to go to the double orbs, and that is really important on Astralis. You have to be able to get those double orbs going. It's really critical. We'll see if it's effective though. We've got Nitro on the orb there for the Team Liquid side, and we'll see the 3 players of Astralis. Now you have to run to long quickly to try to challenge this take, and it's going to be very tough for Liquid to try to hold on to this. They're going to try to challenge for it though. It's not going too well here. Who gives up on this first? In comes the AWP as well.
Can Glaive go deep enough to bait for his teammate? Look at the awareness from Elige. Before he even sees him, the Molotov is there. He knows what the plan is, and Elige cleans out the long area. Now what do? Do they try and move plays up short? They're considering abandoning along, it seems. You can see the discussion as they move around on the radar. Elige heading towards the doors and then coming back. All 3 players now in the long position. And Dupree still has an AWP. Seems they will try to boost the play, but will it be fast enough? Team Liquid are expectant, it seems. Switching the weapons out. Elige is the heavily tagged player, so he takes the sniper rifle. They can keep a player long, especially now they've picked off 1 player and tried to plant for that position. Dupree with a headshot onto Nitro, and he will make a rotation.
This is pretty smart for Dupree. Although, Team Liquid do have to ask some questions as to the delay here on any kind of a repeat from Dupree on Catwalk. We can see that already. Nafly is looking at the position, but AWP versus M4. The M4 will win out as the angle was pretty damn good behind that car. Your body's mostly covered, and that's round 6 for Team Liquid. Astralis back in the doldrums here, and you can see this was always one of these really difficult situations for the CTs. Taking control of long first. You have to take it with 3 players, and this is a conditioning that Team Liquid can offer towards Astralis. If they continually, at the beginning of rounds, threaten long really heavily, Astralis is going to have to pull 3 players at the start of rounds to a long. If they do that, they become really susceptible to fast B hits because the rotation's so far.
Tactical timeout from Astralis will have soon elapsed. Not much they can offer in this round. Wow, look at that. Where are the parents? Oh, he's right there. Bloody hell. Have a word. See what the CTs can do. Glaive with a HE grenade, 2 smoke grenades, a bunch of pistols. Again, guys, make sure if you are watching at home, your YouTube account is connected to your Faceit account. They've given away 1 million points in the last few minutes. 6-1. 7-1 is expectant, but you never know with Astralis.
Flash play from Elige, but there's a trade set up. Oh my goodness, the Deagle close range does the job there for Dupree. And Twist goes for the trade. Can't quite find it. Such a timely smoke to block the vision of Twist. And a 5v4 here for Astralis. But these CT eco rounds are really difficult, unlike a lot of maps, like, you know, your Infernos and you know, nukes and so on and so forth, where you can get these close and mid-ranges fairly consistently and short rotations. Dust 2 is the opposite. It's very difficult for the CTs to close these advantages with these pistols.
Does he aim towards CT immediately? Because if he does, Device is going to whack him like it's an episode of Sopranos. 3 players on A. Astralis in control of long, 2 players on short. Liquid a man down. They've got 2 mollies. They can molly the sight in front of Zipex. There is said molly. Oh, that's a nice shot, the last bullet. All right then, Dupree, again, allowing his teammate to bait for him, but now he's exposed. They can try to pick him off, but they must fear the car position as well. And Device is coming in from the back. Oh, he's missed the first shot, but the second one's good enough. 4 on 1 all of a sudden. To the victor, the spoils.
That's really rough. It's a round where you have so many advantages and they just struggle to close it down. And that can also, you know, be a factor of, again, this map being newly added again to the pool, and it is different to the old Dust 2. There's lots of small, you know, differences when it comes to some of the angles and how they play out and so on and so forth. So
really,
it makes it difficult to actually have really routine drills for rounds like that.
Did you see the last winner? I don't even know. 2-6, Astralis back in the game now. 3 players moving in for a very fast bleed split, it seems. Dupree sees somebody by the door, the flashbang starts to rain in, but how can they keep them blind? Zipex has angles jumping up over the mid to B smoke. Nitro now moving through the smoke. Oh boy, okay then. The trade is there though, and now no one's on the site to plant the bomb. Magus can enjoy it on his own. Taco looking to flank, but Device is still in position. There is a shadow given away from this angle, but Device can't do anything about it. 2 versus 1 now, they know where Taco is. Both players moving into the sites. Plenty of time for Taco. As you can see, as the Molotov goes down, Glaive crosses in. Oh, he's going all the way around. Okay. So Taco would expect both players to have a crossfire set up in the site, but instead, Glaive's gone towards T-spawn.
I think he's trying to have an off angle in case he's pushing the dark position, but it wasn't the case. That gamble's not paid off. Taco looks for the clutch. He makes it work. A 3K from Taco. It did not look very doable, but he holds his nerve and he makes it happen. That's a huge round for Team Liquid. That crushes Astralis, but they do have orbs to go to. Oh, that's a rough one, James. That call from Glaive. I mean, he wanted to have the backstab opportunity if Taco pushed through the upper dark position, but he gambled wrong, unfortunately.
You never know. Twist, picked off by one of the 2 sniper rifles. Again, Liquid a man down early. Now, in the eco, didn't quite work out for them, well for them afterwards. They all pushed in the same direction. No split of the A site. Nafly's holding an angle outside A doors for the time being. Glaive is getting hungry for information as they lose the short presence. Now Glaive must hold on to long. We see Zipex moving quietly through CT spawn as they have no eyes on this area. The T's could be creeping. Dupree was making his way towards CT from B. Patient Nitro picks him off, and now Taco can, I was going to say sell a fake, but they're starting to abandon the A site, and time might be of the essence here. He spots Mattis through the crack, and that's an empty B bomb site.
Astralis in a horrible spot, and there's really not all that much they can do other than keep hold of these valuable weapons and Kevlar and so on and so forth. Team Liquid having a great showing here. It's funny that, you know, the only round which they've really struggled on was against those low buys of Astralis. It's funny how that works out. It always seems to be the way. Team Liquid looking quite decisive and quite dominant here. I'm curious as to when we'll see some of these early long takes again from them. Those are very powerful. You can take some very fast map control. You can get some slightly better timings than the CTs. With the help of some grenades. CTs often have to take 3 players there to have enough grenades, have enough players to trade if it is a fast play, and then you kind of disperse back into the 1-2 setup or the 2-1-2 across the map as the CTs. This could be a rough half, James. Like, Astralis They have their backs against the wall at the moment in this situation. And Dust 2 was always a difficult map when you had a poor economy as a CT side to find a way to be aggressive. It was always very difficult. Astralis were one of the innovators in that situation. And what they used to do back in the old Dust 2 is Astralis would suggest certain setups and actually play the opposite, so that they would lure a team into thinking, oh, you've only got 1 or 2 players there, but in fact they have 3 or 4 stacked there. And that was something that they innovated, and it was by creating these kind of false tells. I wonder if they still have that in their playbook.
Elige is 12-4-5 at the moment. Countdown comes in. Let's see what Astralis can do. Not the most ideal buy, but not the most ideal situation. Needs must. Nitro watching the cross, but again, that smoke is down. Learn it at home. Bounce it off the box. Very simple to do. Very effective. Magis being boosted. This is a very difficult angle to check, and as you can see from the angles that Astralis are playing, again, it's a bait setup. They've been so strong with these bait setups on the CT side. Keeper sees it out. Here's the footsteps, and there is it. It's good for 2 kills. His teammate's down, but he's got time to reload. Backs all the way towards the car position, elevates himself to get shot in the legs, and that's 3 kills on B.
Yeah, they have the bomb on the B bomb side though in the 2v3, and they have some grenades left to try to block off some of the choke points. But look at the timing here, just darting in. They know that right now Liquid are trying to dart across to get the bomb planted, and in that moment, maybe there's a chance to get a quick, sneaky frag, but they are denied. Nitro, gotta be careful with these smokes. I think he hears the stepping now of Clave as he's made his way through the second one. And there it is, Nitro spots him. Both players now known by Team Liquid. Nitro can't connect though, back to the CZ. Oh, that's so nice from Nafly. 1 more to go. The AWP is out though for a device, and Naf makes it happen. Crisp CZ play from him.
And I bet you he's not smiling at all. Absolute beast. Time and time again. Straight in the head. 9 bullets, then there's 6 bullets left. This is not easy to do with a CZ, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. 9-2, Astralis. Almost a complete USP round. The odd thing being picked up, trying to avoid getting shot. Nafly just counting the sheep. 3 plays at long. Nitro will be joined by 2 mates. Very fortunate. Did wonder if he might lose an AK there. So Long is in control of Team Liquid. Elige getting his bell rung, but not showing the bomb. The bomb's on a different player. Now, do they go for a simple split? Keep 1 man here. These are ranges. Astralis will surely not want to engage trying to retake A. That would be, sorry, A long. That would be madness. So Team Liquid can leave 1 or 2 players here and focus the rest of the team elsewhere. Try to thin the players out, show presence. Astralis will know at least 1 person is on long. But that's all they know.
These pistols were a problem before. There was more deagles though. And Team Liquid going with a pretty solid anti-eco. This choke point's a little bit wider. It's harder to smoke it off, but they have everyone there. So shouldn't be difficult to hold the tide of CTs. And this is a strong, or should be a strong push. Again, you've got the rifles against the pistols, the 2 USPs there. And we'll see that the rifles eventually will just overpower with brute force the Astralis defense there, ill-equipped. And now it's a 10-2 scoreline. Astralis really struggling.
3 rounds left in the first half. 3 rounds remain. And we see Device with the AWP. AWP no Kevlar. 4 riflers moving past. 2 headed towards the bomb site. Is this a rush from Liquid? I think it is. They're charging in. What can the CTs do about this? We've got flashbangs all over the shop. All 5-6 players are flashed. And that's going to slow down the push a little bit. They're stuck around the choke point, stuck around the smoke. And Astralis can buy time. Zipex making his way over now. And Liquid abandon ship.
I wonder if Team Liquid actually thought that the site was cleared. Because obviously there was still a player that we could see at car. And they go for the instant rotation, which would actually be pretty effective, because right now, Nitro, for example, could have caught some rotating towards the B bomb site, but Astralis immediately understand that B is completely safe. And so they spread out into pretty catch-all positions. They're pretty good to go against anything that Liquid could throw at them, whether it's a B split, whether it's an A split, whatever it looks like. Astralis are looking good to defend here. Now they have 1 player at the car position. That would be Device, and he has the AWP. And he's the only guy really playing alone if they do push into the A site. And he's the ideal man to do so with the AWP from that position.
Only Device. He missed shots last time. He can't miss them this time. Has he got the flick for Nitro? He won't be a double peek. He's got a warning now. He's seen the gun. That'll make things a lot easier. But Twist moving over. In the meantime, I think he might have shot him through the wall with the first shot. And then finish him with another shot in the face. Either way, 2 versus 3. Man advantage for Astralis. Glaive, they line up for him, and that's the round. They can pick up the bounty. The AKs, the AWP. Zebex gets an upgrade as well.
Right, this could be the point where Astralis get themselves a respectable scoreline. Still 5 rounds possible on that CT side. If they do get the 5 rounds, obviously Team Liquid have sort of made them look not so great in some of these rounds, and it's looked very dominant for Team Liquid, but the T side of Dust 2 is very often, can be very strong like this, so we can absolutely expect Astralis to be able to replicate it. They've had some struggles in some of their T sides in this tournament, but it is Dust 2. Ooh, Naf is going to the Krieg. Like to see that.
That's not a Krieg, Dan. That's an auto sniper, and I can't imagine that's
so it is
deliberate, but there's nothing in the chat, so... Is this... Wait, they've got spawns to rush B. But they've got 2 sniper rifles, so surely they can't be doing a rush of 2 snipers. So what in the blazes does Naf have in mind with an auto sniper? You don't see auto snipers brought on the T side, because the problem is, well, A, they're not really great, but B, if the CT side picks them up, they're considerably more useful for the CT side on pretty much any map.
Here we go. Oh, yes. Nothing will happen though. So there you go. But the thing is that
he'll have the sound when the police come down.
But he'll have enough money to, have an AK next round. There's probably one on the ground for him as well. And there it is. It's the spam of the doors. The Dust 2 classic.
It all makes sense now.
It all makes sense.
Normally it's a last round special, but now it's a second last round special.
Device is a good peek here. And he's not actually going to be able to take the shots. There's a quick incendiary. At least goes past it. Oh, that's a really important frag. However, his teammates are not able to do as much damage towards the long position. Glaive still alive. Nice flash from him. Oh, Nitro's not blind, though, and he's going to eliminate Glaive quite quickly.
Big question, though. Glaive, I think, was blind, so we don't know if anything came up on the radar for him. If it did, if he sees all 3 players there, that's a lot of information for Astralis, but we have to assume that he doesn't. And just now, I think he's holding a line towards the short position, and Team Liquid are moving all the way towards B, and no one is looking through mid doors in time to see this.
Liquid actually dropped the smoke to suggest that they're going to be going A. That CT smoke is a better version of dropping the smoke on the cross. Going into the A site, and they go for the fast B. Astralis do read it though, but they have to defend it. Magisk gets a good spray on the first player, but it's now down to the 3 players of Liquid that are on the bomb site. The bomb is down, there's 50 seconds to pick it up. There's just 1 player left, of course. HUD is going to be fixed in a moment. We'll see whether or not Nitro is able to save this round. 17 health against 2 AWPs. An awkward situation for both teams. He has no grenades. Is it a fake? Oh, he gets called out immediately by Dupree. Beautiful there. No hesitation from the man.
Round number 4 for Liquid. No plant. Sorry, for Astralis. No plant. And where does that leave the money for Team Liquid, who bought an auto sniper in the previous round because they had money to spend? Or did they? Taco now on a UMP, so it was a gamble. Sometimes gambles do not pay off. Liquid with some serious spawns towards the B bomb site. Is a B rush what it used to be though? It looks like a narrower choke point than it was previously. And Dupree has the HG grenade ready in case this happens. Big damage being done. Dupree, they're lining up for it. Misses the first shot though. The Magisk now, he's round double stack, taking Nitro down. 3 more players to find. And they're only just now moving through that choke point. Around the car, 2 players that look like they're almost in the red. Dupree getting peppered through the door, but there are big advantages here for the CT side, spamming the grenades, spamming the flashbangs, but Liquid have the sights.
And they have a smoke and a Molotov. Those are really key. You re-smoke the door, you can Molotov the window. You don't want to smoke the window, makes it too easy for the CTs to run through. And so Liquid able to get some moment of calm here. It did not look like they were going to be able to take this bomb site, but they've managed to do it. Now they just have to hold against the final push from Astralis. 2 orbs, 2 M4s, loads of grenades, diffuse kits, they're very healthy. Oh, what is that? Very fast reset there on Elige as he jumps up onto the stones. Zipex, though, will execute the remainder of the bomb sites, and it's just down to Twist, and he can only do so much against so many. Astralis, they give themselves more than a fighting chance going into the second half. It is 5 rounds for them, 10 for Liquid.
Now we have a game of Dust 2 on our hands. Very interesting to see. Well, I mean, you really can't tell which way this is going to go. We saw mirrors of halves on the previous map, but I have no idea what to expect now from Astralis moving to the T side. Tactical timeout from Team Liquid, just to discuss what they want to do. They've always been, well, for a very long time, a team who can often have some interesting CT sides on maps, the most notable on Cash, starting the retake trend on A perhaps. What do they have in mind for Dust 2? Twist has picked up the HE grenade and the diffuse kit, so that might suggest that he will be trying to contain a tight choke point. He could be playing towards B with that HE grenade. You will soon find out. 10 seconds before we get into the second half of Dust 2. Glaive with a flash and a smoke. The rest of his team on Kevlar, and Dupree has been given a P250.
Ooh, fancy. P250 is your best friend in a pistol round, and maybe you'll do Dupree some justice as well. Glaive with a single smoke and a flash. We'll have to see how he best decides to use those. This has to be so nerve-wracking for Astralis right now. If Liquid win this pistol, life will be very difficult indeed. Nafly not afraid to hold this angle. We get a very old school stack there, which allows you to see the short position.
There's a crack in the wall now at the bottom, which is a nice goofy angle to play every now and then on occasion. Is Device expected? Probably not. Neither is Dupree. Can't do anything about it. Now there are 3 players in CT, but shooting through that door. Door's not going to be opened. 2 players in B apartments. In B halls rather. Nitro's got the range, but he has been shot in the head. He's baiting now for his teammate Naf. He's letting one guy go past, but he's a bit slow tracking there. Very unlike Naf. Very unlike Naf. That should have been a guaranteed kill. That's sure to frustrate him.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Nitro was the bait. Naf's job was to get the kill. That mistake could cost them, but Twist is here to save the day. He's shown great clutches so far, but he can't get down. What? He somehow gets a headshot there right before he goes down, but the round is won by Astralis. And interestingly, that stack that we see in middle, the 2 players there able to see short, that's something that went out of fashion in Dust 2 previously, because it was very easy to punish, and a lot of teams had started doing it, so it just fell out of the meta. And you can see here, you know, again, Dust 2's back. People have to be reminded of these things again.
Thought that one was on, but no. Right then. This is a true test for players like Naf. You may feel like that round was lost because he didn't get that kill, but that round is history now. You have to look forward, you have to forget about it. Sometimes things happen. Long taken by Astralis. Will they have the same idea and go all the same way? Really, to smoke this cross now, you need 2 smokes. You can't smoke it completely on both sides with just 1 smoke grenade. There is one being deployed, and there is the second one to cover the rest of the gap, and this is a problem. Deagle shots. Saw a scout shot earlier as well. Now Device only has 15 HP. He's 1 meat shot away from a butcher's table.
So the save here, save those Kevlars, save the helmets, save the Deagle CZ and Deagle. And a moment of silence, a moment to talk, a moment to reset yourselves mentally somewhat. As Astralis begin to close the distance. Now I think, you know, Astralis, they struggle to make the AWPs really work. And sometimes you can see AWPers completely take over a map on the CT side of Dust 2. Kenny S is a phenomenal example of that, you know, one of the very first to really make this his complete playgrounds. I mean, Device too, you know, back in the old days of Dust 2.
Old Dust 2 Device was amazing to watch on the CT side. Getting fast boosted on short. Playing some French teams who would always pop flash lower tunnel, so he would just face the wall, wait for the flash, and then wait for him to come out and shoot them. Every single round was really fun to watch. 7 to 10. Team Liquid on the pistols for the time being, fighting with what they saved from the previous rounds. Another 250,000. They're really spamming these face-it point drops at the moment. So again, make sure your account is connected. There is a smoke for Long. Oh, they're lighting up for him. He doesn't even know. Glaive with 2 kills. Bonus money with the UMP as the kill. That leaves Taco alone very quickly indeed. Does he position himself outside long doors? Maybe he has a creep towards blue. We've got Device. He can stand top mid on his own. All he will lose is a scout, and that might not be so much use to Liquid in the next round. So he's the expendable man. Has he heard Device yet? I mean, Taco, sorry. I think he might have. I think he has, yeah. You see him looking left and right with the CZ. So Astralis have all the information. Now he moves away.
And speaking of objectives here, stealing a gun's always great, but you don't care about the UMP. You don't care about the scout in the situation. The next round they can buy anyway. That's what you want, the AK-47. That's what he was hunting for. And can he defend it now? And Astralis have to be cautious that they don't give up too much for this AK. And there's a jump, and you can see how that works. Glaive uses, well, the jump is used to make him miss the first few bullets, and then it's impossible, even if he gets the first frag, to kill the trader. So very well done there by Astralis. They now go 8 to the 10 of Team Liquid.
It really seems to me that Device heard Taco in spawn, so it's interesting that Magic's hunted with the AK. Worst case scenarios, you lose the AK. Best case scenario, you lose the Scout. 8 to 10 indeed, both teams on the buy. No sniper for the CT side. Team Liquid, a team who don't feel compelled to have a sniper every round, but this is Dust 2, so we'll see when they have more money. You can see the lack of money, lack of grenades for Team Liquid in this round. Smoking short off deep, so they are lacking quite early on. Device playing around blue. Twist looking for it, not quite expecting it. Device will feel like he should have got that one as well. So Long has been retaken by Team Liquid, and Astralis must move on elsewhere.
Yeah, just gathering towards middle position. The good old pop flash from the top of the slope down in through the double doors to flash anyone who's playing the close position, which is a common position for CTs if they want to try to keep tabs on information.
Check out that angle from that. Very protected indeed. He can jump over these boxes on his own. Oh, they've got I think they've got the high smoke grenade that stops him from looking towards the doors.
Yep.
Really smart stuff. Vintage Astralis.
Yeah, that's really important. We can go back to that point in a moment because the bomb site is now taken by Astralis. They're in a 4v3. There's still a chance for Liquid to do something here, but how do they fancy their chances here? 3 players left with M4s and Kevlars, and they want to save those, I think. Their money really sucks. If they are to survive with 3 players, they can easily buy in the next round. Nafly collects an AWP. Oh, he's got to survive. He's got to keep this AWP in play for the next round. It's really important. If he does so, they're going to have a really good look next round. And you can see that Dupree doesn't want to challenge that position by himself. And actually, Astralis losing some money here. So that's pretty good to see for Team Liquid fans. But as you mentioned, James, that double smoke is really cool because, again, right at the end of the Dust 2 previously, teams were abusing the fact that, you could just sit on the boxes and just look over the cross smoke very easily. So I love that we're seeing that straight away from Astralis.
Attention to detail, never too far away with teams like Astralis. Nitro has an AWP, and Liquid will buy around what they saved in the round prior. They still have a 1-round lead for the time being, and this is a really good buy for them. Taco has an MP9, but that aside, it's looking quite stellar. Again, both teams using the same smoke. There's a high flash from Zipex, they're getting stuck on the corner, and there's no response. They can't go back to that. They have to assume. Now we have the 6th man advantage for Astralis because they've left Long, but Liquid have as well, and they have to assume it's compromised, and Nafla gets compromised in mid.
Really nice crack there from Magis, pushing further in, and just look how they do this. This is a really classic round of Dust 2. We'll have to explain in a moment, see how Taco does in this situation. Gets a kill. Not ready for the trade fragger though, and this should be a pretty easy round now for Astralis. But to go back to the point, classic Dust 2 round, you go for the fast long take. It's very hard for the CT sometimes to get there in time, especially if you have a good spawn, if you have good nades. We see Zipix there. He has a flash, teammate has a flash. Simple as that. Gets a frag. Then they're playing a 5v4. They set up the B split after Liquid are stretched across the map. The B split becomes even stronger. And then you just roll in. You just roll into that bomb site. There's not too much they can do. So That's one of the reasons why the T-side can be really powerful on this map. Once you get a pick on the CTs, it's so hard for them to understand how to cover everything.
Momentum firmly with Astralis now. They have won all of these 5 rounds in the second half. Liquid, do they need their backs firmly to the wall once again before they start to turn up here on this half of Dust 2? Some highlights from Nitro towards the end, but ultimately he will lose the AWP to a 4K of Zipex. How significant, though, is that damage? There's a fair amount of money on Astralis, so they will have to buy up a lot more. We'll see if one player goes cheap to take out some echoing CTs. Pistols, Kevlar here and there, the odd flashbang for Team Liquid. All rifles for Astralis. The taps from Zipex won't do anything fatal just yet. 3 players in B. And Liquid have fast boosted 1 player on short. They'll go for 4 players in B in total. Astralis are going straight into the stack immediately. Running the flashback. Look how narrow that funnel is. The grenades forcing them back further. That's an abandoned ship already, but Elige has been taken down in the mid-area by Zipex and Spawn. And that gives Astralis some breathing room.
Yeah, and you love to see this, just leaving Device there. They could leave him there alone, actually, for a time and try to retake the middle position. The only issue, though, is that it's kind of sketchy at this point of the round to try to go back through the tunnels in towards Xbox, because there's so many close ranges the CZs could be playing. So they're just going to hold with Device, keep him safe from any pushes from the lower dark position. And there's only so much here now that Team Liquid can do. Twist is out of position. Nitro has very little health. And speaking of the lower dark play, Twist will be perhaps swinging into that, potentially. Maybe not going, combining forces with Nitro. Set up a crossfire at the very least. Astralis playing it safe. Should be good to go now at this point. Just 1 player left. I thought this was going to be a disaster, James. I'm looking at this, and I'm surprised that only 1 player is dead for Astralis.
That's what calm comms can do for you. They're all screaming and panicking. They probably would have just barreled in there and been annihilated. But they've got cool heads, Astralis.
Yeah, I think you raise a really good point there. Having really clean comms protocols, or having 1 word, which means a sentence, to initiate a fallback procedure of some description, it goes a very long way in professional Counter-Strike.
Boom. There it is. Max loss bonus. Do we see 1 sniper rifle? Do we see 2? We need a change. There's the first one onto Nafly, so I'm expecting a second sniper rifle. Elige, Twist, Nitro haven't bought just yet. I think we're seeing a tactical timeout from Liquid. Indeed we are. So something hasn't been working for Liquid in this half. They've got to change it up. Although with this tactical timeout, Astralis will expect a change. So we may see both teams playing very differently in this next round. Second AWP purchased by Nitro. Twist hasn't bought just yet. 56.50 for him.
These T-sides are scary, James. I would really like to see Astralis to continue and just keep testing that long control straight away at the beginning of the round. I think that's definitely been a good look for them so far. And we've not seen anything but a struggle from Team Liquid when dealing with it. They usually lose an AWPer in that position, and here it is. Dupree going for the fast peek. He's got the AWP. The flash goes over the top. The flick will miss. And then they'll have to back away. The CTs have it now, and now they can start dispersing back into normal positions. Ooh! Device, he tried to get cheeky there. He was punished.
He did indeed, but Nafly with an AWP, that is a very big clue. If Naf has a sniper rifle, they have to know that there are 2 sniper rifles. Nitro will be on 1 as well. Now how can Astralis adjust a man down to deal with that? They made a play towards long earlier on. Didn't get anywhere. Now sometimes you can expect that nobody will be long. The CT side will just leave it alone, because if the T's retake it, you'll expect to hear some grenades. Liquid though continues to show their presence. Oh, it's a wall of smoke. Old school again. If there's a pit player, it isolates him, and Liquid are forced to abandon. He's oh, and it goes back through with a flashbang. At least he sees 3 people, or 2.5, but he's dead.
So smart from Astralis. There's many ways to skin a cat, as the saying goes, and They just play a delay. They wait for them to disperse until there's less players along, and that's when they go and retake it again. And they've got 45 seconds to play with. They can double back into other positions. Team Liquid can't know for certain until they see them and get the information. And here they go. Nitro with the AWP. Smokes, though, really making his life difficult. He doesn't have a clean shot anywhere. Falls down to Elevator. Maybe has to go all the way to CT spawn here. Still, no engagements offered to Nitro. 4 players left here for Liquid, and the bomb goes down for Astralis.
Dupree picked off while Astralis make their way to the site. What? What? 4 versus 2 though, make it 3. Elige picked off on a short position. 2 players from CT and 1 is pretty far behind. I think Astralis are confident that long is safe for the time being. They'll come to support Zipex, who's doing more damage. That's 2, he's got 2 more to go. Trying to burst onto Taco, and there it is. Very cool execution from Zipex. And then Zipex becomes the bait, and Magic's Boy makes it easy. What an animal.
Yeah, you can just see Device in the booth, just ear-to-ear banana grin right there as he just watches Zipex just annihilate everyone. It's so awesome to see this. Zipex, look how proactive he is in that peak. He knows that he can catch a player pressing W, moving forwards. If he catches them moving forwards, he knows it's a guaranteed kill. He gets that, plays the tapping game, and he wins out. Zipex showing his experience. Once again, 12 rounds now for Astralis. Let's not forget, they won the first map on Mirage 16-14. They win this one, they take the title. Liquid need to find a way back in because it's starting to get out of hand.
7 of 7 rounds in this second half. Liquid fighting for scratch. They want the bowl for themselves, but Astralis keep dragging it away. 2 versus 2, and despite these frags, Liquid, they haven't picked up any weapons just yet. Still down to the pistols. You wonder how many bullets Elige has. He has 8 bullets left. He has to find something. You can see he's rotating. I think he's going round the world just to try and pick something up because he's so low. Both players are, in fact. So this is smart from the point of view that they're very likely to pick up some weapons now.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like that gentleman's agreement, isn't it? Where you have Astralis conceding, covering them and deciding to get the bomb plant. Team Liquid give up the bomb plant, and in so doing, knowingly give away guns. It's all okay though. In the post plant, they know they're going to have an advantage here. Nafli doesn't have any Kevlar. There's no grenades, I don't think, to be picked up. Maybe there will be, we'll have to see. Okay, there's an HE. Well, that's the least helpful grenade in this situation, one would say, for the CT side. And they're going to make their way in through the upper dark position, the tunnels. Let's see if they're able to accomplish something. Device can play the baiting game, and then Zipex can just capitalize. That's the setup. Or he's trying to go for the frag.
But it's the AK that takes him out. 2 versus 1 now. Where is Zipex? Nafli going in with the pistol, and there it is, the pre-fire. There's no time for Elige to even defuse the bomb, I don't think. But the all points in first, so that was a rough one for Team Liquid. They could do with every penny at this point, even with max loss bonus.
Wow. Zipex is having fun, man. Just this guy, he gets more powerful the later a tournament goes on. He's looking so on form right now, just so crisp in each of the clutches that we've seen him in. To think that there was a day in which his performance was questioned and he was about to be cut from the team. That was quite a while ago at this point, but still, what a guy.
All 8 rounds in the second half have Astralis' colours on them, every single one. Again, the high smoke, the low smoke. Elige gets a kill regardless. There are 2 people in the B bomb site. Nafli coming out with some